Lead dog shit. All right.
That's fucking heavy.
Yeah, they got a lot of stuff going on over there. So, kick it off. Huh? What do you think? What do you say?
Let's do it.
I didn't even get gunshots. You're gonna have to
Oh,
put sound
does it do
effects.
Gunshots? Yeah.
No, I
I
just
can
meant like
maybe
I
do
didn't hear your sound effects. So
Oh,
you're
you
gonna have to
didn't?
put some gunshots in. Welcome everybody to Vikings, Outlaws, and Cowboys. It is going to be another broadcast. When Vike goes away, the bros will play, right?
Let's do it.
Yeah. So welcome back. This is 3 in a row, right?
Yeah, 3 in a row. A hat trick, if some might say.
Ooh, yeah. Better
Yeah.
watch out. If we go 4, that's called a Mexican hat dance, folks.
That's when we bring out the tequila and sunglasses. So
Ooh, that's a
watch
Friday
your
night
face.
cast. Yeah, watch out.
Yes, it's definitely a Friday night cast.
People are gonna
Maybe
get sad.
Maybe we should do that tomorrow, across the table from each other, just because, just for something in the can.
Yeah, but Friday's like 2 days away.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
God, man. Ever since Autorama, my days are fucking gone. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that
I
was
lost like 2 days.
That checks out.
Yeah, remember Saturday
Didn't
night?
sleep for 2.
Didn't sleep for 2.5.
I lost a day and a half.
Yeah, it was a good weekend though. And hey, by the way, thanks for all of you that stopped by and said hi to us. We really appreciate that. And it was super cool to see some of the listeners come out and recognize us and just have a little chat with them. So we appreciate you guys. And they'll have stories about shenanigans, and you're going to have to track them down and see what kind of shenanigans we got into.
I feel like I'm never there for the shenanigans.
You're the shenanigan master.
I was not there for a lot of Autorama, which is
yeah, it was. You were there, and then you weren't there, and then you were there, and we were happy, and then you left, and we were sad, and it was a whole like one of these with emotions.
Yeah.
Super bad, dude.
I was upset too. I couldn't hang out the whole time. It's not the huge. It's not the huge.
Yeah. Life happens.
But I'm glad that some people came out and you got to see some people, talk to some people. And I mean, there was a little bit of shenanigans for sure.
Yeah.
Especially on Saturday.
Yeah, we like the Saturday shenanigans. They're always the funnest.
Yeah, it's like the longest day. We don't have to worry about move in or move out or anything. But
yeah, it's kind of our free day.
Yeah, so
free day to frolic.
Yeah, just to let our hair down, as some would say. So we got a pretty packed agenda tonight. This is your first agenda authoring.
Yeah.
So, and you really packed a lot in here. So, I mean, just as an overview,
we don't have to get to it all, but but give them a quick rundown.
I'm impressed. Yeah. So, quick rundown. We got gender roles. That could get froggy.
Mm-hmm.
That could get really froggy. Could piss some people off. I hope we do piss some people off, because that makes the comments so much better.
It's a good thing, because I want to see where your head's at with that.
Yeah. Get back in the kitchen. We have your biggest fear? Question mark. Okay. So that one's coming up. What motivates you to be or do better? And then, getting into the spooky shit, we have Mount Shasta. We've talked about it before, but we haven't really got your take on it. You've been part of the listening, but not part of the talking. And then dreams, lucid dreams. What do they mean? Where do they come from? How the fuck do they happen? I think that's more or less where we're at, and we've talked about reincarnation a little bit, and, and how that happens. If it happens, I don't know. Yeah, we got a pretty good agenda. Yeah.
Thanks.
I'm pretty excited about this. You made that authoring your bitch.
I was yeah, I wanted to throw some stuff in there. We don't have to get to it all, obviously. But yeah, there's some good topics that kind of been on my mind a little bit, and kind of stuff that I've been seeing. So um, it's fresh in my head. So let's go for it.
Yeah, I mean, hard topics too. Jeez.
Yeah,
We're
I
gonna
thought I may
we're gonna
might
we're
dig
gonna
at
get
the core.
yeah, we're gonna fucking get murdered in the comments here. Like I'm glad this isn't a live show. The mediation on this thing would be just pots and pans.
The comments would just be just on fire, on fire.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you.
Hey, we got some super cool updates though. We got some super cool updates
Yes.
today. Super cool pictures. Uh, I'll lead them off. The guys are up there still, obviously, at the meadery. They've been busting their ass. Nate got up there. He's busting his ass, and we'll post some pictures and some videos on social media here in the next day or two. But they literally leveled the whole ground for kind of parking
There's a
and
fucking steamroller up
dude,
there.
his steam, yeah, it was
What the
insane.
fuck is going on up there?
You never see steamrollers,
Nobody prepped me for this.
but I'm glad they had it, which was super cool.
It's like
Um,
Optimus shows up and just shit starts going fucking sideways.
dude, it's like Tonka toys in real life,
It
and I'm
really was.
super bummed I wasn't there. I never
Yeah.
get to see Tonka toys in real life.
Yeah, that you could have got
Um,
like one of the little stick-on badges or something that said, you know,
right? They give you a little plastic hard hat that
who's
I
a
can watch
big
from
boy? Who's a
can watch
great
from the
big
bed of
boy?
the truck. But yeah, that was super awesome to see. And yeah, he's up there. He's already got the fence built.
The
Has to do
drinking
some
corral.
gates. Yeah, the drinking corral, dude. It looks like a corral too.
It's a
Like
drinking corral.
it's
100%. We could
literally
put sheep in there or we could put drunks.
we're gonna have to put some of the metal fucking netting, like the chicken wire.
Yeah.
We're
No,
gonna have
we're
to
gonna
put
have to
chicken
put
wire in
barbed
there.
wire on the top so people don't try and jump out of the corral.
But it's looking amazing, and those guys are doing a fucking killer job up there, and I'm so stoked. And it's just kind of bringing this whole thing to life, because um we can envision it in our heads, and then but when we see what's actually going on, it really brings it to life 110% for all of us. So again, much love to you guys up there busting your ass, and thanks for making this thing a reality. Shit, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it makes me nervous. Makes me nervous. There's no
Why?
turning back now because there's steamrollers and or whatever the fuck. There's a whole ass damn front loader up there digging shit and
Right, and just pound in the pavement.
yeah,
Yeah,
dude,
it was
there's
super awesome.
so much room for activities. So it looks the grand opening is still on.
Set in
So
stone.
there is a event out there on the Facebook, right?
Yeah, if it's not created, it'll be created by the end of this week.
No, it's already out there.
Oh, is it already out there?
Yeah, one horse put it out there. So
Oh, he did.
yeah,
My
so
my
if you're
bad.
following Bearded Viking, there is an event out there, and if you're gonna come, and we want you to come, we want everybody to come. Just let us know that you're gonna come. Just click that little going box, or
Yeah.
the maybe box. Just let us know.
And there is you can still get rooms. I saw that. There's Airbnbs up there that a few miles away, which is not a big deal. Hell, if you bring a van or an
Sleep in your
SUV,
truck.
yeah, throw a sleeping bag in there, man, and sleep on the property. Fuck it.
Plenty of parking lot. We gotta decide if there's gonna be some doorbuster prizes.
I
We
think
should
there
we
should
should talk
be.
the guys into doing like a raffle or something. Like, do you think we could like raffle JT off for the day?
For what?
Like spend a day with JT, just doing JT things.
Nobody wants to do that.
Like a day on
You
the river, a day
you
on the
will
river with JT.
you will be running and your head will be spinning, and yeah, he's like a squirrel, man.
Well, he says he's quite the fly fisherman. So It could be we
Oh,
could
those
auction
kind of
off
activities. Yeah.
like a day on the river with JT where,
That. Yeah.
you know, we shouldn't even talk to him about it. We should just raffle it off. That way he's just obligated to do it. And then
He has no say in it.
yeah, the winner just, gets to hang out with JT for a day on the river
Yeah,
or in
I
a
think
van down by the river. Either way.
I think that or maybe we should challenge the listeners maybe we throw out a code word in the cast, and if you can give us the code word, then you get like a hat or you get a free something. You know what I mean?
That's a good idea.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
swag, something you
Yeah.
can actually take home because you can't take home a day with JT. You just got to leave that there.
Yeah, that's true. You can take a few pictures and then, you know, maybe a fish, maybe not. Maybe some tangled fishing line. I don't know. I'm not much of a fly fisher.
Maybe some lures you can stick
Yeah.
in your back pocket. You can put
Yeah.
up on your wall.
Take some flies home with you.
Maybe we can etch BVMC before you leave
That'd be
with the
neat.
laser cutter. Yeah,
Yeah. I
that
think
would be
I
fun.
think that's down at the meadery too. So
Yeah, I think it
we're gonna do
is.
laser things.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen the videos of the interior, there's some on TikTok. I believe there's some on Facebook too. But if they laser engraved, I think JT did it. He set it up. Laser engraved our
A whole tasting
uh
area.
yeah, the whole tasting area, like just with our different logos and some stuff, some fun stuff. So that's gonna be super cool to see in person when we finally get up there. That'll be awesome.
Just to touch it.
Yeah.
Just get your fingers on it, get your paws on it.
So right. Yeah.
Yeah. That will be neat. But yeah, so there's a lot of cool stuff going on. Even if you can't make it up there the third and fourth, I know I've talked to a few people that are super stoked, but they're not going to be able to make it up. Um, Still, I'm sure that there's going to be plenty of times where we go live during the opening. There's going to be tons of pictures, bands, food trucks, just, you know, the old portage on, bust out the Sharpie and write something fun in there, like back in the military days. Um, but yeah, no, it's gonna be a big party, 2-day party, and then we're gonna have to recover at some point. So it'll be fun, but for those of you that can't make it, make sure that you're watching the socials so you can see what's going on up there when we go live. So I'm sure that each and every one of us will be doing it on the Instagrams and let's see, you don't have the TikToks, do you?
I do, but it's the personal TikTok, but I've been throwing BVMC stuff on there because I didn't use it for anything. Basically, Jess just started sending us a bunch of TikTok stuffs. So I was like, I want to see more. So I just kind of made a stupid
Uh,
page, and it's just kind of personal, but I don't really have anything up there. But I figured, what the hell, I'll just start reposting BVMC stuff and start doing that. But I'll go live from there. I'll go live from the IGs. I don't do the friend face too much anymore, but we'll have a lot of fun with there. And if you're not gonna make it up there, pre-orders,
yeah, get your
look,
pre-orders in.
yeah, look out for the pre-orders, because he's going to announce that like soon, within the next, I would say, what, 7 to
Couple of
10
weeks.
days.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
couple of weeks.
So yeah, get your pre-orders in if you can't go up, and hell, by the time we get back, they might already be shipped to you, so who knows.
Yeah, so all the pre-orders, it'll be a couple weeks. Within the next couple weeks, we'll do the pre-orders, and then they will be shipped out day of. So they'll be shipped out the third. So
That's
we'll have a truck show up, and we'll fill that bitch up. So if you want to kind of show support and you can't be there, get your pre-orders in, and we'll get it shipped to your door.
Yep.
Shaboom!
Boom.
All right. So should we jump into our first topic? I
Let's
feel
do it.
like we could catch some heat.
catching flip flops to the face.
Yeah, dude, catch the chunkla or the vankla, you know? The vankla.
Whoa, is that what Justine calls it? Is that
No, dude. It's that dude that made the freaking chunkla out of the Vans. You remember that guy?
Oh, oh yeah,
The
yeah.
Cali
kinda,
dude. I
yeah.
forget what his name is, dude. He's
I
on
can't remember
Instagram
either.
and TikTok, but he's fucking hilarious.
You know what? One made me sad that that talked about it was Freddie Soto. And I didn't realize that I think it's Freddie Soto. I didn't realize he passed a couple years back.
Oh, he died like 10 years ago.
Or yeah, okay, so was it 10 years ago?
Or
He was
like
funny
15
as
years
hell.
ago. Yeah, that dude was
No,
super funny.
it wasn't 15
Oh
years
yeah,
ago.
dude.
No
He died like
way.
right after we saw his stand up.
We saw it like 3 years ago.
No, dude, we were in an office together.
Really? Was it that long ago?
Yeah, dude.
Dude, we got to get another
Dude,
office.
you are
This fucking
TBI.
sucks. We got to get another office.
Why? So you can forget more shit? Fuck you.
Yeah.
That's all we did was just watch stand-up comedy and listen to music.
It was the best.
Yeah. So gender roles. You asked if, do you believe in them and do you hold tight to them? So I think you should go first about the gender roles.
That was my question to you.
That's your question to
because I
me?
know that's a hard question for you.
Okay.
Because I mean, right off the bat, I play both roles because I'm mom and dad most of the time because I'm a single dad. So this is a better question for you to start off with.
Nah, I'm fucking terrified.
Oh yes, I love it.
No,
It's just a zing. I like
I
it.
saw a thing lately, and well, yeah, I watched a video lately, and it was actually talking about the importance of gender roles. Oddly enough, so this kind of really fell into my wheelhouse now, believe it or not. So I do believe in a traditional set of gender roles, right? But I do believe, in your question, do you hold tight to them? I think that I wouldn't say that the lines are blurred, but I would say that sometimes you have to pick up the slack, depending on what's going on, work schedules, sports, kids, things like that. I would say that, as far as gender roles go, I'd say that, at least, with Justine and I are pretty traditional. I'll go out, I do man shit, I'm cutting the grass and taking care of the yard, being my own Mexican, helping with the livestock, she'll go out
livestock.
she'll go out and water the birds and stuff like that. But I think that there's definitely, she cooks most of the time. If I'm cooking, it's usually in front of, it's usually outside, over a smoker or
Hot
a
coals.
barbecue or something like that. So with copious amounts of alcohol. So I think that we kind of stick to those traditional roles, and but I'm not afraid to help her do the dishes, or this is one of my favorite things, is she'll be really, really busy and not do the laundry for like a week, and then I'll do all the laundry, and then she has to fold it. So there'll just be like a pile of clean laundry
Right.
like
And
everywhere.
she can't get mad
No,
because you
no.
did the laundry.
Exactly. I'm like,
And you got to put it on the bed so she has.
no. Dude, it's just like you open up the laundry door and it just like falls out, but it's all clean. It's not dirty. And it's like forever wrinkled, right? Because it's just piled up and shit.
Yeah.
But like I'll just kind of walk past her and be like, hey, laundry fairy came today.
Love
And
you,
she's
girl.
just like, fuck.
Motherfucker.
Why? Fuck. But no, so I do funny. I think it's funny, but I have a good time with it, and everybody has clean clothes, right? So just shit like that. I'm not afraid to cross the line with the gender roles and stuff, but I really do believe, if you're gonna go out to dinner, pay for dinner if you're a dude. Open the door, you know, just kind of like what we've said in the past, be toxic. Smack her on the ass as she's walking in the door. When you open the door, it's just so you can see her butt, right? So just, and I saw this guy in the video. I don't remember what the hell the name of it was or anything, but he was talking about how in the past the gender roles have been um, so important because men have been the ones that have gone off and fought the wars. And he was going back from like imperial times and, Roman times and everything. And the man was always strong because the man was going out and doing the farming, and the woman's role was to take care of the kids, and the man's role was to make sure the kids stayed alive, to make sure the wife was fed and the kids were fed, and that if there was a war, that he went off to war and came back and took care of them. And the women had that role. But as we like slowly progress and things have become comfortable, that there's less and less of a place for a man now. And because you're not out there, busting down, corn stalks and shit like that all the time. And,
Well,
and some dudes are, right? You got to give it to farmers and ranchers and everything like that,
yeah.
right? But the majority of us are not doing that. It's like 1%
And at
of
the
the
same
United States.
time, back, I mean, early on, you were required to serve in the whatever militia or military there was. Now you're not required. You know what I mean? Unless it's unless you're drafted or something like that. But that hasn't happened since Nam, right?
Right.
Um, so really, you know, that's out the window. So reestablishing a man's role, I think the further down the line we get, it kind of gets harder and harder and harder, right? And
Well, and that's
trying to find
basically what
your
he's saying.
place in that role, yeah.
That's basically what he's saying, and it made a lot of sense because now everybody wants to be a strong, independent woman, and then they become this strong, independent woman, and then they're like, well, where are the dudes at? Where are all these, strong, masculine dudes? Or
Hmm.
why can't I find a good guy? Why can't I find a boyfriend that's not, dancing on TikTok or some shit, like
Right.
whatever. And he's basically said that, you know, it's gotten so comfortable, and women with feminism and everything like that have effectively phased, the masculine man out. And now, and we've talked about it before on the show, now there's a larger and larger portion of women that are like, hey, where the fuck are these dudes at that, could bench press me or, you know, put gas in my car or change my oil or something like that. You know what I mean? Like the masculine male that knows something and could, stand up in a fight to protect them.
Yeah, and that woman could depend on to do those things. I think that, they're asking where they're at. Well, you phased them out by being the strong, independent woman. And hats off to dads who, teach their daughters shit because, I mean, I've been teaching mine shit, that to do on their own that they shouldn't have to ask a man for, from the time that, they could learn shit. But at the same time, you know, you can't you can't be okay as a man as getting your role phased out, so to speak. And and then kind of having to answer that question. Well, I'm right here. I'm right here. I'm doing this shit. I bench press. Well, no, I can do all that stuff myself. Well, what do you want from me then? You know?
Yeah, and I think that's kind of where it gets tough for some dudes too, is it's like, well, fuck it. I'm just gonna sit here and play video games and go to the gym and not really give a fuck about what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the females go, because it's like there's there's been this gigantic shift in culture, especially with women, where it's like, okay, well, you know, I'm 35, 40 years old, and a dude, a masculine dude, a toxic male, right? And what's the incentive to go out and get married and have kids now? Because you work your ass off to get where you're at, and then you could get married for 2 years, have one kid, and then lose half. There's not a whole lot of incentive there.
Yeah.
And I think that's the broken part of the system, because now divorce is just okay, right? I'm not
Yeah.
knocking people that have done it. And there's definitely some situations where, you drug it out for way too long and you should have done it. But I'm talking about the cases where it's just like, oh, we just decided it was too tough. We're,
Yeah.
these people that are getting married at like, in their 20s and stuff like that. And they hit the first bump in the road and it's like, no, things were too tough. We're just going to get a divorce. That seems like it's more of an option and an answer now than just sticking with it and fighting it out. And, you know, better for worse, that whole thing.
Yeah.
So the the sticking together thing is definitely more of it's more of kind of an anomaly than, you know, and divorce used to be kind of taboo, and now it's way more widely accepted. But in a lot of cases it's stuff that could have been worked through,
Well,
right?
and it's stuff that 40 years ago wouldn't even have been thought of as a reason to get divorced, It, and and I
Yeah,
guess
it's
that's
because
that's
when
part of
you
the
came home from
problem.
work, there was a cocktail ready to go,
Right?
and she was in the kitchen making dinner,
Had her little apron on,
not
and
bitching
her
about you
cute
getting
little high
home
heels.
late from the bar at happy hour with your buddies.
Yeah,
You know,
no, she's just
those
ready to
gender
take your
roles.
shoes off and
Is
rub
my
your
dinner
feet, put your
ready?
slippers on, and
Yeah.
have your
The
pipe ready to
yeah,
go.
what the fuck, dude? Even if it was a TV dinner, like, come on, let's go.
Give me something. I'm hungry when I get back from the bar.
Yeah, come on. It's like, what have you been doing here this whole time?
Oh, I can't wait to see the comments.
I'm definitely gonna get bitched at.
Well,
But
I
I
think it's
mean, there
healthy to
was.
kind of laugh and joke about it, but there was a thing, there was a stigma. There were, it was the cleavers. You know what I mean? You looked at the
Mhm.
cleavers, and hell, I mean, they were our role models for like three fucking generations. You know what I mean?
I mean, the 40s, 50s, and 60s were a fucking good time to
Yeah.
be,
To be
married.
a
I mean,
man, to be a
yeah,
toxic
that
man.
was just toxic as fuck.
Everything was just falling in your shirt pocket, man.
Yeah, I'm just like, I watched the show Mad Men. I watched that a while back.
Oh
I'm like,
yeah,
damn,
yeah.
Don Draper had it all figured out. His
He was kind of a
secretary
prick
had,
though sometimes.
oh, total douchebag, but his secretary had a fucking fresh, white, crisp shirt for every time that he passed out in the fucking office.
Yeah. And
But
didn't even have to ask, you know what I mean?
no, he's just wakes up to a fresh shirt and a new suit.
Just ready to roll.
Yeah, it was just that anticipatory thing. But yeah, no, and I'm not saying like, women need to be on bended knee to men and everything, but I think that to a certain point we definitely need to be taken care of, because we are just grown up 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
I mean, like, we will fight, we will drink, but I mean, ultimately, we do our best to take care of them too. But you know, I think that fostering us along, uh, we need that from time to time.
I think so, right? And I think that it 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 works in both of our benefit, if women are taking care of us, because definitely you're right. We are 12-year-olds in 40-year-old bodies, and we need a little bit of taking care of, and making sure we're going to be okay for the next day. And that's, that's just, it seems like to me that's the job of a good woman, just kind of, you know
Yeah. When you
making sure.
wake up, they're like, "Oh, so how you feeling today, idiot?"
Jackass. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I get that a lot.
Yeah,
Did
and
you have a good time last night? Stupid.
I don't have anybody to do that for me
Yeah.
right now, and it's I'm missing it a little bit, but it definitely we'll get there.
Yeah. She's always like, "You want coffee? Some breakfast though?" Like, you got that right.
Damn right I
Got
do.
that right.
I'll make the bacon.
Yeah. No, he's gonna do it all. Uh, I'm gonna go cut the grass or shovel the sidewalk or something
Right after a yak.
tomorrow.
Oh, my brother is coming over. We're gonna get drunk. Fuck
We're gonna do
this.
chores.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the thing too. And one of the reasons why I this was on my mind is I was watching this program and they were talking about just kind of books of the Bible and things that uh, it said and portrayed. And this was one of the things. And I can't remember what chapter or verse, but it was pretty harsh, man. It was pretty harsh, and it was like, thou shalt kneel to the waist of the man and all this kind of stuff. And I don't, I've never thought of it that way, and I've never expected a woman to act that way. And
Sounds like
honestly,
they
if
had it all figured out.
and honestly, if
I
this
feel like
comment section
there
better
is a
blow
whole
the
lot
fuck
of
up.
men's mental health that would be a lot better, if it just, you know, read the Bible and do what they said.
Here, put this leash on, and I'm gonna tie it to my fucking waistband.
Get your
Yeah,
hand out of my pocket.
I don't know, man. I thought that was a little harsh, and I didn't, I didn't agree with it, with everything. I did, I did agree with, honor thy partner, and that kind of goes both ways, and that's kind of, why I want to get in this topic because I think that, it is like you said, um, it's good to, share the responsibilities or pick up the slack. Um, and I don't think it's one of the things that you guys ever talked about. It's just kind of implied, right? Did you ever say, hey, should we flip a coin on who cuts the grass? Like forever,
Yeah, yeah,
because you've got that
yeah.
job
No,
forever.
I lost that fucking quarter flip.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's not a coin toss that you make. You just do it. That's your job.
yeah.
You do
If you're gonna plant grass and water it, your dumbass is gonna fucking mow it.
it.
That's
Should
just
have
a
just put down fucking rocks.
yeah. Should have fucking done something like anything. But yeah, I yeah, I'm with you there. If there's just some things that if you're gonna do it, you're just gonna live with it. You're cutting the grass. You know, like at this
Yeah.
point, even if I broke my leg, she would just buy me a riding lawnmower.
She's like, hey, babe, happy
Hey,
birthday.
hey, good luck.
Here's your rider.
Have
Good
fun,
luck getting it down
dumbass.
the fucking hill.
Yeah, if you weren't drunk screwing around with your brother, you wouldn't have broke your leg, idiot.
Having roof beers. You fuck
Hey, I
ass.
rented this for the next 6 weeks. You stupid.
Right.
No, it's
Yeah,
it's 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 definitely implied, and I think that I mean it should be common sense, right?
it should be,
Should be common sense.
I think.
It's an uncommon virtue, uncommon talent nowadays.
Well, one of the things that I always do too is like, and I like to cook. You know what I mean? I've always liked to cook, and I've always kind of like to throw my 2 cents in there, at least a few times a week. Um, and my whole thing is, it should be implied that whoever cooks, the other person does the dishes, right? I mean,
Yeah, that's kind of tuna no crust. Fuck you. Okay. There's sometimes, other times you use every dish in the fucking the thing. You didn't have to do that. That's fucked up.
throw, throw them on the grass
Yeah,
and hose them off.
yeah. Fuck that. Give me the fucking squirty thing at dawn, and we'll just let them hang dry on the
Dude,
deck.
that's the best, man. I found that, yeah, the squirty guy. and you pre-squirt them with the soap, dude.
Do you have your apron on
The
right now?
fucking walk in the park, man.
What fucking non-binary gender role are you playing right now? Paging dog. I swear to God, I am gonna punch you right in your non-binary.
Dude, I got my non-binaries out and all this, man.
I don't know why the fuck I decided to drink whiskey tonight. That's gonna be fun.
But at the same time though too, I am in the process of teaching the girls the same thing. Like if I'm cooking, you better be cleaning these dishes. You know what I mean? And if you want to help out with dinner, help me out with dinner. Let's do it. Let me teach you some stuff. One of their chores regularly is to empty the dishwasher. You know what I mean? And super cool thing is now I'm teaching them how to do their own laundry, which that's helping out a bunch, and I'm not mad about that. And they're doing a pretty good job. So I gotta put a feather in my hat for that one.
That is, yeah. So that's a totally opposite role that I have to teach, right?
Right.
And mine is more like clean up the dog shit, and you better watch your tongue because you're gonna be mowing this grass too pretty soon here because I'm gonna break my leg. Um,
On purpose.
I'm jumping off the roof. But yeah, no, it's a totally different. It's kind of a role reversal, right? Because you're trying to teach uh, the male side, and then I guess a more feminine role too. But and then they have their mom, the stuff that they're learning from their mom too. Um, on the weekends or whatever your guys'
Well, yeah,
situation is.
the
Yeah,
schedules is yeah.
schedules. That's what I was going with, not situations. Um, yeah, and I'm just trying to teach mine not to be just dicks. So
Well, that's kind of the
there's
thing too. I Ooh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say there's a couple of times where I thought I was gonna have to throw Conrad in the trash can
Just to
because
teach them a lesson.
yeah, just teach him a lesson, just to teach him that you don't say that your mom's food doesn't taste good.
Mhm.
You know,
Oh yeah, you get
yeah,
your
you
ass beat
shut
for
you
that one.
shut your mouth because you want her to stop. You want me to fucking cook? I guarantee you're not gonna like it if I have to
Could be
cook
steak
inside.
every night, and you're
You
gonna
don't
have to
want me
fucking
cooking
cut it.
inside. Yeah, I'm gonna burn this bitch down. You don't want me cooking inside.
Shit. Uh,
So yeah,
well,
I'm
that's
like,
kind of the thing though too. Is
shut
like,
your
dude,
mouth.
I'm the trash man. I've been the trash man for fucking ages, right? And but I'm not gonna ask him to take out the trash. It's my job, you know. And when it comes to cutting the grass, I mean, Grandpa, he does most of it, but like he barely lets me even help him. So,
He's
but
like, get me another beer.
right, he's gonna go. Oh, you're just gonna fuck it up
You want me
anyway.
to have to be? You want me to hit you with the hose again? Get me a fucking
Like,
beer.
won't you just start raking and save your back? I'll cut the grass. But I'm not gonna teach him how to cut the grass. I mean, that's they're a little too, I mean, small in stature for that at right now. But at the same time, it's not something that is really kind of in their wheelhouse.
Yeah, yeah, no,
As far as a gender role goes.
yeah, there's definitely some different ones out there too, and like trying to you know using C-dub as an example, right? It's like you shut your mouth because if she stops cooking for you, that means I'm gonna get skinny. She's gonna stop cooking for me too. If a woman's cooking for you, shut the fuck up, just eat it.
Yeah.
You know what I
Mm.
mean? Because that's one less thing that you had to cook, and you didn't have to go to Mickey D's or something. So just shut the fuck
Mhm.
up, eat it. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
And
You
you're
know?
not out on the streets.
Yeah.
You know what
Just
I mean?
fucking go
'Cause
back for seconds, choke
you
that shit
say
down.
that 3 or 4 times, man, she'll kick your ass out on the street.
Yeah, you're gonna be doing laundry, bitch. Uh, but
In there, down by the river.
yeah, dude, seriously, like you're
Yeah.
gonna be at the laundromat. Yeah, it's definitely a a big difference with what you have to teach them as far as gender roles go, and what I have to teach my boys, and getting into the mental health aspect of it too is trying to teach on that line that is not too far one way or too far the other.
Mhm.
You know, being being appreciative and humble and thankful for it, but not being like, yo, where the fuck's my dinner at?
Yeah,
You
not
know what
being
I
a
mean?
dick about it. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're gonna be to that age soon too. And so many people have gone through this before us too. The kids turn into teenagers and stuff like that. And it's like what happens when it comes to date time. Like you gotta go out and you gotta, open doors, treat her like a gentleman, and not be shitty. So you kind of laying the groundwork out for that type of shit now too.
Well, I think that 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 humble appreciation that you just mentioned, that's a huge part of it. And it really has to be a conscious, humble appreciation, because there's a lot of things that women do without you knowing, or without you really taking notice of, that just happen, that just do, and make the world a better place, and make maybe the household function, or maybe make, you know maybe it's your, a gal at work, you know what I mean, that picks up this slack, that it's like, oh shit, she does that, well, fuck, she's out for this week, well, who the fuck's gonna do
Son
that,
of a bitch.
you know what I mean?
Who's gonna put
It's like,
paper in my copier?
she does all the files, I
Who's
don't know
gonna
how to
stir
do
my
the
coffee?
files.
And so,
Who's
so
gonna refill the string cheese? It's stuff like that.
who's gonna put the coffee in the coffee maker? Uh,
I didn't know it needed water.
what the fuck? It says Keurig. I thought it did it all. But so we're getting into a thing too, where that old saying, dudes marry their moms, and daughters marry their father, right?
Hmm.
So just kind of, and I think it's true, really, in a lot of cases, whether
Hmm.
it's good or bad, but really it's now up to us as grown ass men to make sure that, well, for you, that you're a good role model, and that, yeah, hopefully your daughters do marry somebody like you that
Hmm.
maybe drinks a little bit less.
Right. You used to have a stable job before you start drinking as much as
Yeah,
I do.
just fucking figure it out. But yeah, and the boys, they're totally screwed. They're gonna try and find a woman like their mom, because their mom's
That's gonna
pretty
be a rough one.
badass. Yeah, that sucks for them.
Yeah, but their mom is a tough customer, though. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah,
And
she
she's
will
she's
beat
she's
your
gonna
ass.
she'll probably lighten up over the years, but at the same time, like,
She's gonna get grumpier.
that's what I was gonna say. There's gonna be this thing where she'll lighten up, and then she'll just go back to the dark side, and
I'm gonna be holding her back as soon as
it'd
some
be
little
a
girl walks in
force.
here. It's like, they're 16 or something going on a date. She's gonna be like, already. She gets pissed.
Mm, man,
Sam, you better not be talking to girls.
man, oh man.
Better not be kissing girls at school. She'd get all crazy. I'm telling you, those kids, they got an uphill battle, man.
Well, and to find find a woman like their mom is gonna be rough, because there's not many like her. She's definitely one of a kind.
Yeah, that's gonna be a whole lot of their fucking problem.
Right.
I just get to sit back and drink beers on
And
the roof and
just drink
watch.
beers and laugh your ass off.
Yeah, no, I can't wait. It's gonna be just absolutely glorious. You put down what is my biggest fear.
Yeah.
I
Um,
don't.
but the thing is I'm not talking about like monsters in the closet, or or not necessarily even, war coming into the country or anything like that. Um, Mainly, it's basically your biggest fear about moving forward, um, being the man that you are, what kind of direction that you want to take it, and what direction that you fear that it may go. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, kind of.
Or maybe just
I
your just
I
biggest
think
fear about being an adult. I mean,
like
you do
right
have a
now,
you do
right
have an
now.
adult status right now.
Yeah, no, that does
You
not.
are an adult.
I don't feel like I never received like a card in the mail
Right?
or like
They
I didn't
sent me
get
a
like a
ribbon
decoder ring.
or a
I
plaque.
Yeah, I have nothing in this office that says that I'm an adult now. Like I don't believe what you're saying to me, and
Christen you right
that
now. You
actually
are an
kind of
adult.
yeah. I never went through a ceremony.
I
There's
know.
I don't agree with what you're saying.
That's the fucked up thing is like there's no ceremony
Yeah,
that says
there's no like international date line that you're gonna fucking cross, and they're like, oh hey, you're an
glad you're
adult
here,
now.
glad you made it. Yeah,
Yeah, good job.
here's the handbook,
Hey, here's
you know?
taxes. Yeah, that's the
They
thing is
sh-
there's never a fucking handbook,
they should give you a
right?
handbook.
And school is really just shit.
It's zero preparation for the real
Yeah,
life,
you
which
fucking
pisses
they
me
don't
off,
teach you
man.
how to fucking write a check anymore,
Mm-mm.
how to not spend all your fucking money, how to like make a good credit score, uh, how to pay your taxes.
How to buy a home, how to work with a budget, none of that
Your
shit.
whole senior year should just be don't fuck it up 101.
All right?
Yeah, if you're gonna do drugs and alcohol, do it at home. Don't drive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah,
Don't buy it from
don't
shifty fucks.
bang the trashy chick from down the road because she's probably gonna knock her up. Like I
Just
don't know,
tips and
just
tricks
like
for life,
life.
man.
Yeah, life.
Don't
Yeah,
fuck it up
pointers.
101. Yeah.
Yeah, don't fuck it up 101.
And I
I
don't even think that that's required as a college class. I think it should happen as a high school class
no,
because some
it's
guys might go into the trade. You know what I
you know
mean?
what
They
the
might not go to college. You
yeah
go
you
into
know
the
what the
trades and you got to know this shit more if you go into the trades than if you go to college. You know what I
you know what
mean?
absolutely blows my mind is the class I had to take 101 and then 210 or whatever the fuck it was of critical thinking.
Mm-hmm.
It's common sense for dummies, basically what it is.
It really is, yeah.
I'm like, we have to take this in college. We're taking a common sense class now. I
Oh, that
paid
was
for
in
this.
college.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
paid
yeah.
for this.
It's 101 and 210 of critical
That
thinking.
that is sad.
No, it's really. I'm like, I couldn't have tested out of these for.
Right?
I went to the Marine Corps. Like, we're pretty dumb, but I made it. I'm here.
Critical thinking. I mean, come
Yeah,
on, man.
yeah. If anything, nailed that.
Can I, can I pay? It's probably you just ace the fuck out of it.
Yeah,
I
I
think that's
mean,
probably is like, can I just pay $50 and just test out of
just
this
get out of
shit?
this
I
one. Yeah,
mean, that's ridiculous.
I mean, looking at me, you probably wouldn't know that I nailed that, the whole common sense thing. But
I
whatever.
mean, yeah.
I got the whole World War II thing going on with my hat. I think I have like a nerve disorder or something. Like I don't actually know where the middle of my fucking face is anymore, so my hat's always fucking sideways now.
Dude, I love the World War II thing. It's
uh,
always that hat too.
I wore a totally different hat last week and I
Oh,
did the
did you?
same thing.
Yeah,
It
it's
was a
the same
total
thing.
accident. Now I'm just looking at myself like a jackass on the
But
fucking thing.
it's a classic look though. It's very classic.
Yeah, it's very
It's classic handsome is what it is.
thanks, buddy.
I should produce this one in like sepia tones, so we
Oh yeah,
actually
yeah.
look like
Yeah.
old timey.
It's
We
very
maybe I'll do that. It's
very
very old.
Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
It's just
W
phase
two.
us in and phase us out. I it's fucking dumb. So I think that probably my biggest adult fear is, laying it all out there because, we're in some really weird times right now. I
Mhm.
don't really, I don't know. I don't really buy into the whole apocalyptic thing. If shit goes south, that fucking sucks. I,
Hey, we're still
it's,
here, man.
yeah, like we're
It's
not
supposed to
going
be
anywhere.
Apocalypse Monday, and
Yeah, dude. I
dude,
just
we're
wanted to make it until
kicking.
Tuesday because I wanted to see the new Forerunner. New Forerunner came out. Uh, we made it. Yeah. So it's not war, right? War is not scary until it's at your door.
Mhm.
War is not scary until you're there. War is fucking scary, 100% all the time.
Mhm.
But if you've trained for it and you've done stuff over and over again, and you know, I'll be the first to admit I'm out of practice. It's been a while, but that type of muscle memory comes back fast. So as
Yeah.
far as fighting and stuff like that, first 2-3 months are going to be hard. Because I'm fat, and eventually when there's no food, I'll get skinny again. It's you know it's
Just
just it is
eating
what it is.
bread out of the neighbor's fridge.
Yeah, just capping somebody for a sandwich.
Yeah,
But
after they're all leveled.
no, so like the whole running around screaming with your hair on fire, like war, that type of stuff doesn't really scare me. I think kind of more of the real world, not alarmist part of me kicks in, and that part of me is I got to raise these kids to not be assholes, and that weighs on my mind a lot because every once in a while one of them will pipe off with some crazy shit, and I just want to throw them in the freezer.
For like half an hour.
Yeah, yeah. How about that for adversity? You
Right.
fuck. No, but that's my
Adversity.
biggest that's my biggest fear, right? Is that we talked about adversity last week.
Yeah, that's
And we talked about how these kids have zero adversity and how they haven't had to go through anything. So it's getting them to the point where can they handle that adversity, trying to prepare them for that, and just knowing that they haven't had to go through any adversity, and trying to figure out, trying to like leap forward in my mind and figure out what I fucked up so I can come back to here and do better. If that makes any sense. I don't know
yeah,
if that makes
yeah,
any sense.
I think so.
Trying to like think out the possible scenarios of how they may fuck this shit up,
And then just
and
set up
then
roadblocks for each one
come
when they get there.
come back and like, okay, I already saw this coming. This is the plan.
That's kind of a dad's job though, right? I mean, I saw this coming, and I think that kind of goes along with our own experiences and our own growing up and all the dumb shit that we did because I
But there
mean,
was no fucking cameras or phones when we did it.
yeah, true, but we
You know what
still
I
did
mean?
it, and
No,
they're
I
still going
know.
to be fucking dumb enough to do it.
That's what I'm saying, is they're dumb enough to do the same shit that we did because they're the same bloodline. They're retards, but they have fucking cameras and shit now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like dead on arrival.
Well, hopefully, they're cognizant of that and not just doing completely dumb shit, I mean, driving cars up a road to jump it, you know what I mean, at the top of the hill, that's just fun stuff. You know what I mean? That's kid shit.
Yeah.
You
Uh,
bust it up, you bust it up. Hope you're wearing your belt, and all that. And if there's a camera, there's a camera. Hopefully it's a junk car that you picked up for, a couple $100 at the job that you're working. So you
yeah,
can
but
just trash it. Not
what is
dad's car, then
what is
you're
the
fucked.
likelihood of these dipshits doing that?
That seems
like
way too thought out for
buying a
these
car.
idiots, right?
Yeah, buying a car for a couple $100 for the job that they work. Get the fuck out of here.
I don't know, man.
You know what I mean?
I'm still it out.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like, I think, like, even the my first car, or the car that they let me borrow, like not necessarily my first car, but the car that I got to drive when I was 16. I think they paid like what was like $18,000 for it, brand new.
It was a Passat? Is
Yeah,
that
it's a
what you're talking about?
Volkswagen. Yeah, it's a Volkswagen. And I did dumb shit with that car, but I only broke it once.
Yeah.
And turns out it was a recall. So, I mean, it was going to break anyway. I
It wasn't
just
even your fault.
sped up the process.
Yeah.
Uh, but, even, a shit box now is, 10 to 16K. That was a nice car then.
That was
when
a
I
really
had
nice
when
car,
I had
yeah.
that car. But now even just getting
In a beat up junker. Yeah, it
yeah,
costs you fucking 10 grand. That's a tough hit to the pocket to just
yeah,
give it to this fucking idiot kid that's just gonna wreck the shit out of it.
yeah. There's a kid up there sleeping with a mullet right now. And he is just gonna be all about the peer pressure. That kid is just
Oh my
I can
God.
already see the fucking disaster. Like, I'm gonna have to like become friends with somebody at the sheriff's department.
Yeah,
Like, I'm gonna
you're definitely gonna have to get a cop friend.
yeah,
That's for sure.
yeah. And I have zero cop friends here. I'm gonna have to. Hopefully, one of their kids plays baseball or something. And even if his kid's junk, we're just gonna recruit him
Yeah, you'll
and
meet a cop dad with
just
a
tell
baseball
him that his
playing kid.
kid's a bee's knees or something. But yeah, I mean that's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. Uh, worried about your kid maybe going to jail or doing something stupid and fucking themselves up and having some kind of life altering injury or something like that, right? Like,
Yeah.
I made it out. Like, if something like that happens, put a pillow over my head, right? It's like,
Well, now it doesn't fucking matter. You know what I mean?
yeah, I'm out of the
I mean,
woods.
yeah, you're out of the
Fucking
woods.
made it.
Yeah.
It sucks,
But
but
I mean,
everybody will be taken care of. Just put a
yeah.
pillow over my head.
There you go.
But
On the life insurance policy and
yeah,
whatever, you know what I
they'll
mean?
be
And
they'll be rich. So
yeah. And so, but 20 years ago when you were just piece of shit kid out of high school, it was scary for all of us. You know what I mean? Like this fucking guy.
yeah,
What is this guy gonna do? And then when you go to the Corps, you're like, yeah, I'm going to the Corps. I'm like,
guy is dumb.
that is a rough call. And I was kind of mainly pissed because they wouldn't take me. Like, I tried to go, they wouldn't take me. Army wouldn't take me. Navy wouldn't take me. Even the fucking Air Force wouldn't take me. I'm like, because of the TBI. And I'm like, bummer. Fuck fuck the
Darn.
government, fuck the military. And
Fuck you,
then
Bill Clinton.
right, and then I just had nothing good to say about it. So when you and nothing, no feelers, like I was hurt. So when you decided to go, it was kind of a rough pill to swallow. Um, but obviously it turned out okay, and you turned out all right, worse for the wear. But at the same time, that was a fucking scary thing, and and I can imagine. I can't really imagine. I can appreciate, but I can't imagine what mom and dad went through. Where the accident that I got the TB. I mean, they didn't even know what the fuck was going on until they got called from, the paramedic, an hour and a half after I left the house. You know what I mean? That's got to
Oh yeah.
be a scary fucking moment,
Yeah, yeah, it's absolutely terrifying. I remember walking in and you were on a cooling board, strapped down.
That was rough, dude. Oh,
Yeah.
like the
So
papoose thing. Yeah, that was fucking scary.
yeah, but it's just like no, you were on like a metal table.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you were like a
Yeah,
step
yeah.
away from an autopsy. They were just waiting for you. They're like, he's gonna any second now.
This guy's gonna check.
Let's
He's got to
just
check
wait.
out sometime
Yeah,
soon.
yeah, he's not gonna do it. He hit his head pretty hard.
Let's go get a sandwich. It'll
Just
be
wait.
done when we get back.
Maybe his mom and dad will get here. No, but that's a thing, right? And you were 17.
Yeah. So yeah. I was just
So
just about 17, I think.
yeah, because so I was like 6 or 7 walking in there seeing it, and yeah, so something like that is absolutely terrifying, right? Your kid getting in a crash like that, or something of that sort happening. As an adult, we don't really think about it, or an accident or something like that's always scary. But in my experience, I've always kind of talked shit and laughed it off a little bit more because every time I get hit, I swear to God, it's by like an Asian or a dot not feather Indian. Like I don't understand. But you know, you can protect them now, but as soon as they are kind of out on the streets,
I know, dude.
but these kids are fucking dumb. These kids are so dumb. So fucking dumb.
Well, yeah, I think I- my biggest fear is just them getting talked into some dumb shit. Dumb shit that they can't get out of, or they're peer pressured into, or something like that, and then obviously their safety and security, obviously, but that, it seems like it's always a crapshoot. You know what I mean? You can't change fate, and you know what I mean. If fate says that they get in a car accident when they're 17, then that's what's going to happen. um but as far as like outcomes that they can control, just like that with the peer pressure thing, or the sex before fucking 13 thing, or something like that, is
Yeah, no
fucking
drugs after
scary as
12.
shit. Yeah, drugs after 12. It's like, that shit, it just scares me, you know what I mean? And I
Well, yeah, and you got girls too. So I mean, the saying, you got to worry about all the dicks, right?
mhm.
I only have to worry about two. Um, that rings true. That gets pretty scary.
Well, the good thing right now is they're still I mean, Olive's, she's gonna be 12, but she's not super boy crazy. Like, she's had a couple crushes, but she hasn't let it get to her. You know what I mean? Really. Um, and I don't know, man. She's just kind of, she had a boy bully a couple years back, and after that boy bully, man, she kind of did away with dudes and crushes and all that for like a year and a half, and I still haven't heard really anything
Dude, you just
much
wait till
about it.
some dude hands her like a fresh pack of crayons, and it's on. Just watch out. I,
She's
just
not easily fooled.
I don't know, dude. You get a 36 pack of crayons with the sharpener on it. That'll
With
fucking
the
get me.
sharpener on it.
That'll get me, my guy. Okay. He fucking, she doesn't fall for
Shit.
that. Get the fuck out of here.
Everyone falls for that.
Yeah, dude, that's a fucking that catch all. No, and it's scary. It's definitely one of those things too where it's like you can't coddle them and keep them away, keep them in a tower, trapped away from all
Yeah.
the bullshit. And as a dad, trying to make sure that they don't grow up as just absolute assholes because they had a leg up, right? That scares me. I've talked about that with JT in the past. Is that it's absolutely terrifying, thinking that this kid thinks that he just deserves something uh, because he had a leg up, right?
Yeah.
And
Like the
that
world owes him something.
yeah, and the story that I told about Sam, where he was talking about um, well, I want to take over the mead company one day. I was like, well, that's cool. And he's like, well, how do I do that? I was like, you're gonna be a janitor. He's like, a janitor? He's like, will I be like the boss of the janitors? I was like, no. I was like, you're going to work for somebody that's the boss. And he's like, well, how does that work? I was like, I don't know. We haven't even found that guy or gal and hired
Right.
him yet. But when we do, you'll work for them. And I was like, you're going to have to, you'll work your way up. You're not
Yeah.
just going to get given shit like
Yeah. You're not
flat
gonna get
out.
handed shit. Yeah. And none of
And
them will, and I don't think any of them should expect to, because we didn't.
well, the fucking
Anybody
problem
handed
with
us
him
shit.
is he was already fucking expecting it. So that's what I'm saying. These kids are
Yeah.
fucking dumb. And they have like he has like using him as a case study. Fucking, he has a good group of friends, right? He has a really good group of friends, and at the core, and their families are really good. Just absolutely when we're around each other, I mean, we're yelling at each other's kids just as much as we're yelling at it, our own, and
Mhm.
it's okay because if they're fucking up, say something.
Yeah. Somebody gotta say something.
Yeah. So, at the core, these kids are really, really good kids. And only, the next 3, 4 years are going to tell whether they become absolute just dipshits.
Complete pieces of shit.
Yeah, just absolute, just sacks of dicks.
Hmm.
But so I got like 2 or 3 years to prep. So that shit is coming, most definitely.
Yeah, you got a little
And
time though.
yeah, we got a little time to prep for situations.
Mhm.
But that is definitely probably my biggest fear is just having 2 kids, having 2 boys that just grow up and feel like they're entitled to stuff and that they don't want to work hard and do anything.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I I mean even using myself as an example, I would say that, I went through and I had it pretty easy. We didn't have a whole lot of money and everything, but, ball, I had it easy. Um, just because I was physically talented. Going to the Marine Corps, that sucked at first, and then I was like, wait, this ain't so bad. Like, like physically, we can do this. You
Physically,
could.
yeah.
It was just kind of like that mantra. You learn to do anything for 5 minutes. You just
Yeah.
take it for 5 minutes at a time.
Sure. Yeah.
And the stuff that is absolutely fucking asinine, that was terrible and sucked the most. Those are my funnest fucking stories. Now,
That always
that
happens. It always
shit
happens that
fucking
way.
cracks me up because you're
It always happens
commiserating
that way.
with a group of dipshits
That are
and
all
you're
at the
like,
same
yeah,
idiot level that you were at.
exactly. It's like, oh, this is a fucking good idea a couple years ago. Now look at us. We're really fucking rocking shit. Is we're like fucking neck deep in mud or some dumb shit.
Right.
But it's just always it always happens like that. And then, going on to the career now, working for the Fed and stuff like that. It looks as though it's a pretty easy uh a pretty easy blessed life, right? I can't complain
Hmm.
about it because the hard stuff was hard, but you get through it. But my biggest fear is that they will not be able to get through it because I fail to equip them with the tools to get through it, and then
Well,
that's my failure.
that's kind of huge, and that's something that I mean, saying that out loud is really may bring it home because just like that saying, what hard times make strong men, easy times make weak men, or
Hmm.
whatever the saying is. It's longer
Yeah,
than that, but
paraphrasing. Yeah,
yeah, paraphrasing, but that's really what it is. You give these boys an easy time, they're gonna turn out to be weak men, you know. And I
yeah.
guess it comes
Well, you
down
have
to the
to walk that
balance.
line too
Yeah, that's
with
it
boys,
comes
is
it
whether
comes
I'm
down to the
just a
balance.
total freaking prick or whether I'm like just right. Uh, that's tough. I've never had to walk the line. It's shame on me. first time I've been a dad raising, these two assholes to my knowledge.
Hey, I
I don't
mean,
know whether I lived another lifetime getting into that reincarnation thing later. But,
yeah,
this is all I got to go off of. And that's the thing, too, is like we didn't realize either as we were growing up. This is, our mom and dad's first time figuring this shit out, too, right?
yeah, they were learning as they went too. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And just taking notes because they
Yeah.
weren't perfect. They didn't know all the fucking ass. They didn't get the fucking handbook. No one got the
Right.
fucking handbook.
Why is there not a fucking handbook?
There should be a handbook.
Yeah. I mean, they fucked up with you and Jess. Obviously, they nailed it with me.
Hey man, third time's a charm.
Third accident. We're gonna fucking nail it on that one.
Right. Let's not fuck this up.
Oops.
Oh shit.
No, just trying to figure it all out, and I think that, trying to get outside of, the echo chamber too of the people that have been so perfect and done it so perfect, and the shit that they're doing too is tough. Just kind of being real about it.
I was
think
gonna say
is
those people are kind of full of shit anyway because
those
they're
guys.
not perfect. They didn't, they didn't know what to do the first time, and it didn't fucking click the first time either. Because, like you said, like kids are dumb. It's really up to us to kind of mold them and prep them and get them where they're going and where they should go. And along with our community tribe, that goes along and with the kids and helps them out and all that kind of stuff. Um, and I think it's that whole joint effort, you know what I mean, that really kind of molds the kids. And I don't think any one person or any one event or anything like that can really take credit for, a kid not or snapping out of being a fucking idiot, you know?
Well, and we're raising our kids, with the same type of values and things like that we were raised with, but with a totally different style. As far as I don't hide a lot of shit from my kids. We'll go, to our friend's house and we'll have cocktails and hang out and the kids will play and do their thing. And then when it's time to go, you know, let's go. Let's take off. Or hey, you kids are sleeping over and we'll see you in the morning. Stuff, it's just stuff like that. Or we'll have, friends and family come over here and we'll be shooting billiards all night or barbecuing and shooting billiards and or listening to music on the deck, just stuff like that. Things that really never happen, at least during my childhood,
Hmm.
where, we got to see our parents go out and have fun
Well, you got
with
to
other
see,
adults.
yeah, your parents be themselves. You got to see them be
Yeah.
who they were, yeah, with other
And
adults.
yeah, and some people are like, oh my gosh, my kids are never gonna see me drink or anything like that. But it's like, to me, it's like, yeah, sometimes you're gonna overdo it and be a jackass, but most of the time, they're just gonna be like, oh, okay, whatever. We're
Well,
gonna get extra snacks because Dad's had too many chili millies, you know,
right.
just stuff like that. But it's an experiment, right? So we'll see if they're any worse for wear when it comes time.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with letting your kids see you be a human. You know, you can't just kind of be this overlordy robot that it's just you do this, you do that, you do this, you do that, you clean your room, blah 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 blah. You can't just be that person all the time. Um, and on the flip side, you can't be easy and soft and be completely vulnerable with them all the time either. Um, there, like you said, just even that, there's a line you got to walk. You got to know, make sure that they know that you're human. Make sure that they know that you make mistakes, and when you do make mistakes, you own up to them. You know, um, not going to be very often, and they're not going to benefit it from it much either way. But at the same time, you know, own up to it if you make a mistake with them, and make it right,
Yeah.
and keep being that authority figure. But you know, you don't have to lay the hammer down on them 24/7. You know.
Yeah, and that's like the whole thought too behind it. We're talking about the kids and stuff like that, and we have our kids all the time, right? So, and I feel bad for those that don't have their kids all the time, that don't get to have that immediate impact, uh, like we do, and it becomes a problem too for just the mental health of, dude, like I want to be there for my kids and do this for my kids, do that, and dude, that's got to be absolutely rough. Not being able to, just separated by, you know, crazy ex-wife or distance or trying to work too hard to pay child support, that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just there's so many factors right there of people that don't get to do that, and the impact that that has to, their mental health. That's got to be rough, right? And we can speak from our experience and what we do and what we know, but that type of thing I don't think we'll ever really understand, right? Understand the impact that has.
Yeah, I mean, not personally. I mean, we can appreciate it, and we can always kind of be on the lookout out for it, with the kids, and and a good thing, say for instance about us is, we check in on them. We have one-on-ones with them, and heart-to-hearts with them, as often as we think they need. When we're noticing, different patterns and different things going on, and you know maybe something's happening a little bit different in the way that they're drawing or the way that they're writing or something like that, and try to take notice of that kind of stuff, and really kind of nip those things in the bud. And I think that if you're aware of that and you're doing that on a constant basis, you can kind of get those things out of them, of what's bothering them, because a lot of times they don't even know how to put it into words.
Hmm.
And that's the hard thing, because they're still young. And I was just thinking just a little while ago that we really I mean, for the age we are, our kids are relatively young, because most of our friends that are our age have old ass kids. Y-
Yeah.
there's a few of us that are in our group that have younger kids, but not a lot. Um, and you know it's kind
Well,
of
and
letting them have a voice, and us actually, you know, tuning into it. And I think that that's kind of an important thing about really kind of connecting with them and making sure that you're staying connected with them.
and not being like too proud to ask for
Mhm.
opinions or thoughts, or did you ever go through this? Because you know it is an advantage being around people that have kids that are older.
Mhm.
um even if we take Cliff and Willie as people that have done it before, right?
Mhm.
Because they both have teenagers, and they've gone through it and stuff like that. So you hit a speed bump in a situation, you're like, what the fuck is going on? It's like,
Yeah.
it's okay.
It's all right.
it's
It's all
it's
right.
gonna happen, you're gonna get through it.
Not
And
smoking the reefer.
yeah, well, and it's like the dad talk is always good, the mom talk is always good, but it's never, it seems like it's never like straight to the point. But yeah, you ask a buddy, hey, and this is really, at least for me, right? Because most of my friends are older than me.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of friends that are the same age as me. I have a handful of friends that are in the Marine Corps that are the same age as me, and we all have kids that are like the same age.
Mm.
And then a handful of friends that that I talk to all the time, and not necessarily see all the time, that that are my age that I went to school with, or that I know, right?
Mhm.
And but most of the people that I see on a daily basis and uh, interact with on a daily basis are quite a bit older than me. And I don't know. I mean, even if we take Bearded Viking for example, I'm I'm the youngest in the company.
Yeah, you
I
are.
am I'm the youngest in the company.
Is
But
Nate older than you? Nate's older than you?
I think by like a couple months. I think we talked
Really?
about it, and he's older than me by like a couple months or something like that. But but it really isn't. It's kind of like a non-factor for me
Yeah.
when I come to when it comes down to it, because it's like, dude, if I don't know something, I'm gonna ask. And if I have an issue and I think that somebody has probably done it before or dealt with it, then generally I ask.
Well, I
But
think that you have that good sense about you though too, and we'll pick back up on this in the second half, but the on the reincarnation thing. But I think you got an old soul, and it's been around the block a little bit, and you know those things are kind of ingrained. Like you said, the common sense and the logistics are there, but you're not afraid to ask. You're not afraid to learn. You're not afraid to, um, you know, tell somebody you don't know something. You know what I mean? You're not too proud to say that.
well, and like I'm not afraid to be an ass or look like an ass, because it just is what it is.
Well, you're
You
gonna
know,
be better off for it in the end
yeah,
too.
people can choose to judge you however they want, right?
Hmm.
And I had a problem with that in my younger life, that I was always afraid of what people thought, and trying to make sure that like I didn't get looked at in a negative light, or the people weren't talking behind my back or anything like that. But the fact is they were gonna fucking do it anyway. So
Yeah.
you might as well. And I didn't learn that until probably I went to the Marine Corps, and I found out there was this whole other fucking group of people that lived in the world that did not give a fuck.
Give a
And they
fuck
didn't
about
talk
what
shit
anybody
about you.
thought.
They're just like,
Yeah.
that guy's either for me or he's not
Hmm.
for me. But if we're
Period.
shooting in the same direction, we're in a foxhole, we're fine.
Same
And then
team,
there was,
bro. Same team.
yeah, and then there was other dudes that you were like, I'm gonna shoot that guy to make sure he doesn't shoot one of us.
That guy's a fucking idiot.
But it's like, all in
Yeah.
favor, I shoot him. Friendly fire.
Shoot him.
No, I'm just joking. That never happened. Okay. Um, but no, it was just like I found out about this, and then like I found out that there was in fact a group of people that I grew up with that weren't like that. But
Mhm.
I didn't have the forethought to realize that, because I was too in my own head, right?
Yeah.
And you asked the question too, um, you know, what motivates you to be better or to do better? And it's definitely not. We had a long talk um Saturday night after Autorama, you, me, and Rob and Todd. We were up till like 5 in the morning, right? Just
Uh,
bullshitting about everything, all of it,
just life,
everything under the sun.
sun, moon, quasars.
Yeah, who was gonna bring us some bush lattes? Turns out
Yeah.
nobody. So we
Nobody.
just hung out anyway. But and yeah, what motivates me is just kind of like I said before, is getting the boys to do good, to be their own men eventually, and hopefully I can sit back and be proud. It's definitely not losing a lifestyle that I have, or being poor or anything like that, because I've done all that. It's not scary once you've done it and you've been there. It's not scary. Some of the best times I've ever had, we had no money. We had enough money to keep a roof over our head and a car payment, maybe go to a movie every once in a while.
Well, yeah, and you look at it, it's like
And
it's going to shut a door on something that is going to open another door. So You just got to
Yeah,
find that other door that's going to open.
yeah, and the thing is like even like something like that, that would suck, totally suck. Just trying to. The suckiest part would just be shuffling stuff around
Hmm.
to let the bank take this, let the bank take that, sell this, sell that. That's the part that would suck about it, right? But in the end,
Yeah.
it's just like, eh, just less shit to worry about.
It's less shit to worry about. Yeah. And then if we
It's
want it again after they took it, fucking we'll make enough money to get it again,
to get it again. Yeah,
doing
if it's that
something else
important.
or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah. If it's that
and the
important.
thing is like that's like the lifestyle that we live and the things that we do. Oftentimes, it's just more stressful anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not wrong.
we
Yeah.
we talked about it and ad nauseum on Saturday, and it's just like, dude, I really don't even fucking care. Take it. It really it's it I it's not for like status or or to show anybody, hey, look at me or anything like that. It's
Hmm.
just to show or to share it, have fun with it while we can, because we might not be able to later. And if later shows up and we can't, fuck it. We can say that we did it and we had fun while we had
Yeah.
it. And
So the pictures in an album for somebody to look at in fucking 30 years that doesn't
but
even fucking
nobody
know us.
but nobody fucking cares, right? Nobody gives a shit. So why should
So
you?
why should you? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
my thing is like what motivates me to do better is just to keep the kids on track, because just, like our parents before us, they wanted us to do better. So we did better. We want the kids to do better than we're doing right now.
Hmm.
And then hopefully, down the road, they're worrying about making sure that their kids aren't assholes.
Same as us,
Yeah.
and I think, and in one of those things that we mentioned, on Saturday night was it was more important to us who we're going to share it with. So, you know, find the people that you're going to share it with. Make sure that they know that they're important enough to share it with, and then fucking share it with them. And if it's not those people, find some other people. And if it's not those people, you find out it's not those people, find some other people. And if it's not any of them, fucking go to the woods by yourself. Fuck them out. Fuck them all.
Well,
You know?
and that was one thing too that kind of, we've talked about it before, and then like we had that discussion Saturday. But, you know, there's going to be some people that are just your ride or dies.
Hmm.
There are going to be those people in your tribe that you come across, and they're your ride or dies. And they're going to help you get through everything. You're going to help them get through everything. And, those people are one in a million. They're really hard to find. And, once you find them, hang on to them. Right.
Yeah.
And, and that's the tough part, especially with, being a man and, creating those friendships and those bonds. And I mean, truly, dude, we've said it before. Like, you got to tell your dudes that you love them. Like, no homo. Like, you got to tell your dudes that
Yeah.
you love them,
No
because,
homo.
I mean, one day something might happen, car crash, something. They might not be there, and
Hmm.
they could end up being some of the most important people, most impactful people on your life, and you don't even really think about it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And the thing is, too, is, you know, they might not have a role to play. Yeah, they're your boy. Yeah, they do this for you. Yeah, they do that for you. But their role not even become aware to you for another 10 years down the line, when they're in a spot to really fucking pull you out of either a dark place or do something that's super impactful for your life. That, okay, well, it, I had no idea that you were going to be this person and you were going to be this important to life. But oh my
You
God,
never know who's going to show up. Yeah.
you never know. Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
talk
I
about
I agree with
Dan
you.
and Troy when I came home. Dude, never thought that those two would be the two that showed up. But Dan and Troy showed up like a motherfucker for me when
That's
I
fucking
came home.
hardcore. Yeah.
Yeah. And, we're still, the three of us, we're still good friends, great friends. But I don't talk to Dan every day. I don't talk to Troy every day.
Hmm.
But there's the bond is still there.
Yeah.
It's
And it's important, and it's important to have those people, and it's important to, really recognize that, and show love to that, and show appreciation for that, because like I said, yeah, I mean, you never know. It might pop up to where, you know, you got to be a savior for one of them. You know what I mean? One of these days, and you'll know, when it's that time.
Oh yeah, well, and even kind of like unpacking, some of the conversation that we had too is, we're all just kind of sitting in a hotel room bullshitting around a fucking Expendables movie that we're fucking making fun of, right? And you guys had no idea what was going on with, what I was doing.
Right.
But, I told you guys and you're like, fuck, I had no idea. Like you never really fucking talk or say anything about it. Well, you know, you, you guys are going through some shit. So my, my shit to me seems minimal compared to what the fuck you guys are going through.
Right.
So I'm not going to unload shit onto you guys that doesn't necessarily to me need to be unloaded. But you both are like, you're a fucking idiot. That's the whole point of this thing. It's the reciprocation of it.
Hmm.
Well, I didn't fucking see it that way, but that's my own jackassery just in full effect with, saying, hey, what the fuck is going on with, what I'm doing. So, yeah, and even you specifically, you're like, well, I had no fucking idea what was going on.
Well, and that's the thing too, is like I agree with you. A lot of times, and I think that that's a big problem with men, and maybe the basis of why we even do this is because we don't
I
feel
am the
like,
problem.
yeah, like I mean, you don't feel like your problems are enough to unload on somebody else, even if that person is like, bro, like we're here to talk about this shit, let it out, tell me what's on your mind. Still, hold back, because you don't want to dump on somebody else, because they're already going through some shit. And men just in general hold in fucking most of everything. So if that guy doesn't say anything, or even if it's not on his face, or if he doesn't wear it on his clothes or whatever, you still know he's going through some shit. You still know he's gone through some shit. So you don't want to necessarily unload your shit on him. I get it. But those times, when we're there, for each other, just like, hey man, we're here, man. Let's have a chat, you
Well, and
know.
like one of the big takeaways from it too was because I mean it was actually it was a really good talk. It was kind of one of those kind of unsuspected things and unintentional, right? And it was just kind of the four of us sitting there bullshitting,
Hmm.
and it was kind of eye opening because I realized in that that moment, hey, I'm part of the problem when it comes to shit like that.
Hmm.
Is I show up all the time for people and try and make sure that I can do what I can for them. Um, not trying to be overly ambivalent or anything like that. Like I just try and show
Yeah,
up for
no.
people. And I never really kind of thought about how much like maybe I just need to fucking call, you or Rob and just fucking unload on you or Rob for, 10, 15 minutes and just be like,
Hmm.
all right, love you, bye. that type of
Yeah.
shit.
It's like, you good,
Because
Ben? We all good? You all right?
yeah, because Rob's
Yeah.
like, you're a fucking idiot. He's like, this is what we do, and I was like, well, that checks out. That makes sense,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just kind of like one of those odd circumstances that would have never fucking happened if we weren't where we were and, just kind of did what we did.
Right.
As far as, car show, hanging out, drinking all damn day, going to dinner, hanging out, drinking more, running out of booze, and then, well,
Just
what do we
kind
do
of
now?
riding the waves
Yeah,
into the
what do we do now?
fucking
I
into
go
the
to sleep, I'm
birds
gonna
chirping.
puke, so let's just hang out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly.
No, it was just
Well,
it was just
well,
is really kind of eye opening for me.
well, and the good thing was though was no one shied away from it. That's what I liked about it. Especially too, we've get we've been friends with Todd for a while, and I really like Todd, and he reminds me a lot of Uncle George, where he's a quiet observer. He's very smart and very aware, and then he just throws zingers underneath his breath, and I
Solid zingers.
absolutely fucking love that about him. But he was there, like he had his seat.
100%. Yeah,
He was
100%.
there. He was taking it all in, and he was even getting into the conversation. And he's not a regular with us, and we want him to be, but he's done his thing, and he'll come to the club when he's ready. But at the same time, he was in it, man. He was in his fucking pilot's chair. He was contributing. He was letting us know how he felt about the things and the topics that we were talking about, and that was beautiful. You know what I mean? It was fantastic, and he had no reservations to do so.
No,
And
not at all.
that was nice.
It ended up being a really cool, just unsanctioned, unexpected time
Hmm.
for sure. But yeah,
Really is.
so we really had a unexpected, you know, I would say like almost transitional moment when it came to, the way my thought process um went, and not using your buddies, but utilizing your buddies to kind of unload what the fuck is going on. And I was referring to last week as Hell Week, like 3 weeks prior to last week, just because so much packed into everything,
Oh, dude.
y- you know. So,
May's gonna be like hell month.
oh, dude, I am
Ugh,
I am
it's gonna be
so good,
rough. It's
so
gonna be rough.
excited for May. Like I'm fine with May. That 1 week was like all of a month packed into a week for me. It's a fucking wreck. Like driving up to Montana for the the grand opening. That will just be frosting on the cake, right? It's gonna be,
A nice little break, or
yeah.
is that gonna be the end of Hell Week?
No, that's gonna be easy day. It's gonna be.
Okay, just a breeze.
I'm gonna get to see all kinds of friends. I'm gonna get to see family. I'm gonna get to see freaking Halverson. I haven't seen Halverson since 2000 and the fuck did you leave Okinawa, you douche? 2008, middle of 2008, maybe start of 2009. I haven't seen this fucking guy
Damn,
since then.
that's been a minute.
Yeah, I can't wait to get my paws on him. Um,
That's
I'm
fantastic.
bringing a bag of Doritos, you son of a bitch. And no, so I'm super excited for that. I think as far as just tough times go, that's not going to be one of them. That's not going to be a high stress environment for me. I think that, we have a really good group of guys. The grand opening is going to go how it goes. we'll have critiques, we'll have things that we fucked up, things that we did awesome, but as it's laid out, this is our first grand opening.
For
You know?
anything, right? For
Yeah.
anything.
So I mean, for everything that it is and everything that it is not,
I'm
I'm
excited just
pretty
in
confident.
general.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty confident.
I'm confident and excited in general just for the whole experience, you know. I don't think, I usually go into most things pretty optimistic, and I'm going to be going into this pretty optimistic and just saying, "Hey, let's knock this out of the park because we can," you know?
See, and I'm pretty pessimistic,
Yeah, very pessimistic.
but I think that the crew that we have there, and my pessimism runs with how many people are going to show up, right? Because nobody wants to be left, standing on the stairs and their prom date's supposed to be there to pick them up, you know? So my pessimism is self-preservation. So y'all don't hurt my fucking feelings because I still am under 200 people on Instagram. So
Yeah, yeah, seriously, man.
I need
You
a
guys
social
need to
media
step
manager.
it up to the plate. Come on.
Yeah, I gotta check it. Should we see? Should we see what it is in real time?
Yeah, check it
I
out. I
I
mean,
ha- I
this
had a
guy.
couple of bots drop me. Like the bots didn't even
Oh, they
want to be
dropped
my
you? Oh,
friends.
those guys are
Yeah.
dicks. Because you
Yeah,
don't
dude.
post enough, bro.
I'm still at 195. I got 195, real ones.
You got to do the posts and the reels.
I mean, I do all kinds of reels. They're just mostly from you. But, I told you I needed a social media manager. I just need somebody to tell me what to do. Um, but no,
Yeah,
I,
you
I,
gotta
I
learn it,
really
Dave.
think the part that is easy is and comfortable is just meeting the people and talking to people. That's easy day, you know,
Yeah.
and that's the part that I look forward to. But yeah, to recap, I mean, we went through gender roles, our biggest fears, and then, what motivates us. And I think that was a really fun exercise for men's mental health.
Yeah.
And kind of where we went and where we ended up with that.
Yeah,
It's
I'm happy about
it's
it. I liked it.
it's all
I wanted to have some fun with it. And
borderline terrifying.
yeah, if you're not looking fucking death in the face and smiling at it, then fuck fun we
What are you
having.
really
You know what I
doing?
mean?
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, we literally are doing it every day.
So since we're getting out of men's mental health and we are getting into our conspiracy or spooky shit,
Yeah, spookies.
this is your first agenda that you've written for a podcast. Right now, I mean, we're rolling good, so why don't you take us into it?
You want me to take us into it?
Yeah.
So there's a couple people that I listen to, um, and the one guy, I can't remember what his name is. He's got a very distinct voice, and he kind of looks like a wolf man. He's probably your age. Um, Actually, his face reminds me a lot of you. And I see him a lot, and he has a ton of these missing 411 stories about Mount Shasta.
Oh, I know who you're talking
You
about.
know who I'm talking about. He has
Yeah.
a very distinct voice.
Yeah, he has a really good commentator voice.
He does, and he's a fantastic storyteller. So you
What
don't
lurks beneath?
yes, what lurks
What lurks
beneath. Yeah,
beneath? Yes.
yeah, super great storyteller. Yeah, but the problem is sometimes he doesn't break up the stories clearly, so you end up listening for 4 hours and you think it's just one big fucking story. But anyways, he does these missing 411 stories, and I've heard he's talked about Mount Shasta. I
Ad
don't know,
nauseum. Yeah.
yeah, a lot of times, and I can't remember specifically what he's talked about. However, there was a article that I read earlier, and it reminded me of it, and I'm like, oh, Shasta, and it was a missing person story, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, the missing persons shit is fucking gone wild. And it reminded me of what we talked about last week. Um, but we're talking about, a completely different place, and the missing persons thing is just going insane out there, and it has been since like the 1800s or even before. And yeah, I guess my question is what the fuck's going on out there? What do you know about it? What have you heard about it? And and do you think it's out of the norm, or do you think it's just motherfucker fell down a rocky face cliff and died? You know what I mean? Because they say that there's everything there. There's the cryptids, there's aliens, there's portals, there's whatever it is, you name it, they're there.
So there's actually a tribe. I forget which tribe. Let me look it up. Um,
Yeah, there's
just
a ton of Native American lore there.
let's see, the Mount Shasta tribe. So we have the Akawachu, the Wintu, and Astagawani? Astagui? I don't know. Um, third one's Yep, third one. Somebody's gonna have to teach me how to say that shit. Anyway, so I don't remember which one of them is. The one that has the stories of not going above the actual tree line. But one of the
Oh,
tribes
okay.
is actually so Mount Shasta, right? It's a large area, and one of the tribes actually is, let's not say in charge, but knows the most about the face where everybody hikes up.
Okay.
And they strongly recommend to their people you don't go up past the tree line. Because once you go
Oh.
up past the tree line, that's when odd things start to happen. So, with that being said, one of the examples is, and I forget the names, but this is in the last 10, 15 years. There was 4 hikers that went up, and they stopped at the very last point where they could camp, and then they were about 45 minutes away from the summit of Mount Shasta.
Okay.
And they were to the point where they were so close, and it was a 45-minute hike, or 45-minute hike, where they could literally glass their buddy or anybody else leaving from that point
From
to
the
get to the
top.
summit.
Mhm.
And their buddy just, they were kind of hanging out. I think Mr. Ballin actually told this story.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Dude, I love Mr. Ballin.
And Mr.
It's
Ballin was just
fantastic.
on Sean Ryan. Like, congratulations, guys.
Oh, dude,
You guys
did you
fucking
see
nailed
that
it.
episode?
I'm like a quarter of the way through it.
Dude,
Mr. Ballin, total fucking asshole when he was growing up. It's fucking, it's awesome.
I'm
Like,
trying to find a notepad. I gotta write this shit down. Yeah, dude, that was like probably one of my dreams come true is to see those two bat the ball back and forth, dude. And
they're both Navy SEALs, right?
right? And Ballin's talking about um the way he's telling his own just kind of life stories. He's narrating it the way he tells his stories on
Yeah.
the fucking cast, and
Well,
it is the
and the fact
absolute
that there's
best.
like 9 Pulitzers between like his family, is
Right?
it makes so much sense why he's such a good storyteller
Right.
and why he's so good at what he does. But I'm pretty sure that I actually heard this story on his podcast as well. But their buddy wanted to leave early and just get up to the summit, and they were just kind of hanging out around camp, drinking coffee and stuff like that. And then, they're watching him go up, and then all of a sudden they lose him.
Ooh, yeah, I might remember that one. Yeah.
Can't see him anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They go up, they look for him, cannot find him, cannot find hide or hair, and then they find a rope, and it looks like he went down to the side and like dropped down on some stuff and was looking at some stuff, went down, not there. Rope's there, he's not there. Doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Go up,
Should be there.
he's not there, and calling the search party, right? Everybody's searching, no body, no signs, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
No hairs, like he couldn't find his pack. There was no food. There was no tracks. There was no nothing. It's starting to
Nothing.
come back to me. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then there's other stories where, which is actually a common occurrence for Mount Shasta, where they're down in the camping area, and then all of a sudden somebody's missing, and they're taking off going up towards the mountain. One specifically was it was 18 or 19, just started taking off towards the summit, and as he was going up and it was warm outside, started shedding clothing.
Mm-hmm.
They ended up finding him like a day and a half later, shirtless, shoes gone, pack gone, jacket gone, and barefoot.
A day and a half later,
Like a day and a half later,
and all of his shit's gone.
all of his shit's gone. They
Wow.
literally followed like the trail of his clothing and everything going up the mountain, and they found him, and he has no recollection of why the fuck he just took off.
What happened? Why he took off?
Nothing.
Or
They
see?
just found him. And then there's another one that has happened more than once too. This one specifically was a kid that was around 4 or 5 years old, and they lost him. Had
Mm-hmm.
no idea where the kid went. And they find this kid in a cave, and they start asking the kid questions, and they said, and the little boy said that he followed grandma. Well, grandma was back at the camp. The kid followed grandma, and that grandma wanted him to poop on this piece of paper, and that he couldn't go to the bathroom, and he couldn't do it on like this piece of paper or whatever the fuck was there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, and then it didn't seem like grandma. And they found the kid, and grandma had marks on her neck where it seemed like she had gotten bit by something like a bug or something like that in the days prior.
Like real grandma? Real
Real
grandma had got
grandma.
bit?
Real grandma.
Oh. Dang.
And we're back.
She got maybe like touched by a skinwalker or something like that.
It doesn't seem like it's something like that. It seems like it's something that is within the mountain, that lives in the mountain.
You think that maybe that's a part of the mountain?
Maybe. But it seemed like something that had to get some kind of DNA from somebody else
To
to become it. It seems very very Montauk to me.
yeah, or like the series that we were talking about. What the fuck was it called? It was on Netflix. I mentioned a couple weeks ago.
Stranger Things.
No, it was the alien one where he crashed his ship and shit.
Oh yeah.
The Resident Alien.
Resident Alien, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's kind of how he has to do it. Um,
But
yeah,
there's
that's fucking weird.
and then there's the hooded people. Are
You know
those the
about the
hooded ones?
Luminarians?
Are those the hooded
Yeah,
ones?
yeah. They have like the gilded
Mm-hmm.
white robes with hoods and
Yeah,
all
and
that.
they're like 8 feet tall. They're taller.
Yeah, they're kind of humanoid giants.
So a lot of people have thought that it's the Nordics. So there is a type of aliens that are referred to as the Nordics, and they're human-like, but they're much bigger, and they're
But they said
blonde, and they have
they're
a
they're
lot of
blonde, they're beautiful, they have a lot of human features, but you can tell that they're not of human origin.
yeah, but they're
Um,
but they're like one of the ambivalent alien races.
yeah,
That
but they said that they were descendants of Luminaria, what it would be called, that it had been
so if you
covered
actually
by the
look at
Indian Ocean,
yeah, if you actually look at that, um, it looks like it's beyond the ice wall, right?
where Luminaria would be.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, a lot of things are kind of row and toe, bro.
Yeah, it's really weird.
It's
Kind of
really
where we're at
weird.
now. I think we're on like the precipice of actually figuring it all out. But I think that Mount Shasta's got something sketchy going on for sure.
They were saying that there's a whole ass gem city in there, and that's they go through the tunnel walls and they get to their whole ass gem city, and it's just a beautiful sight to see or whatever, and that's where they hang out. They hang out inside the mountain in basically this jewel city, and
Fuck
now
that
they're
kind of guy.
recruiting humans, and there's secret societies down there that hang out there now and are kind of doing their thing down
I
there,
think they need
which
us.
god
I think
knows god knows what they're doing.
I think they need us to do the things that they're doing. You know what I mean?
But do they though? I guess is my question. What do they need us for?
Yeah, I think they need our energy. I think they need our essence. But Mount Shasta, it's a big area. It's a really big area.
Yeah, it's huge.
And above the tree line is massive. In most places, I think it's around 10,000 feet that the tree line actually stops.
It's just too cold to grow after that.
Air gets a little bit thin.
Mm-hmm.
Not as much sun, a little bit chilly.
The water's not as free flowy.
It's flowy. It's just chilly. But
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. Um, Mount Shasta, 14,180. I think the tallest peak in Utah is Kings Peak. So
I guess I
it's
got a picture of
about a
Mount Shasta for behind me tonight.
it's about 1,000 feet higher, little less than 1,000 feet, little less than 1,000 feet higher than Kings Peak here in Utah.
Really?
Yeah,
1,000 feet. Could you imagine seeing
a little bit
another
less.
mountain 1,000 feet higher than Kings Peak right now? Pretty a big ass mountain, man.
It's a big fucking mountain. But I mean, Kings Peak, like you go and look at these pictures of Kings Peak, and like I know this isn't on the agenda, but I'm just gonna throw a fucking curveball out there because we do that, right?
We're going real time, baby.
I think a lot of these things were trees before.
Oh, how they do that? Yeah, the
I think they were
petrified.
trees. I
Hmm.
think they were trees. I mean it's even in the Bible. It's in a lot of different ancient texts about how these big trees were cut down.
Yeah, they were. Yes, I
And
I've read quite a bit about that, and dude, the imagery is out of this world because they show it, and I mean, you can see the veins of the bark. You know what I mean?
yeah, which is
Which is crazy.
wild.
Hmm.
It's absolutely wild because so you have the uh, I mean, there's like the Devil's Tower.
Hmm.
That is insane. That looks exactly like a tree.
Dude.
There's a bunch of places throughout. I mean, look at all these like plateaus and mesas. You
Oh yeah.
cannot tell me, like driving into St. George, Utah, you cannot tell me that that did not just used to be some gigantic
It just
forest
like a
with
yeah.
massive fucking trees there.
Yes, it just looked like a huge forest with just it just got fucking chopped the fuck. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm looking at the Devil's Tower right now, dude, and how that cannot be a million-year-old petrified tree is beyond me. I mean, yeah, those things are insane. Um, and I've been on board that ship for a little while.
I
That's
mean, it makes
definitely
sense,
it
right?
makes a ton of sense.
And so we talked about like how movies just really just throw it all out there.
Hmm.
And they're just trying to give us little tidbits in the movies and stuff like that. And even when it comes to like that movie, Avatar, how
Oh yeah.
there was gigantic trees and how those, the native people were so connected to the trees and the land and the animals and everything like that.
Hmm.
It just, I'm like, are they just, they're really tipping their hat at the gigantic fucking
The
fauna.
gigantic people, yeah, and gigantic Earth theories.
Yeah,
You know,
because I mean, a couple
I haven't
gigantic fucking trees and there's a shit ton more oxygen in the air. More
which
oxygen means that things grow
or
bigger.
yeah,
Humans,
bigger people,
animals,
bigger fruit,
huge
bigger
dicks.
bigger bigger dogs. Yeah. Huge. Yeah, I mean, I definitely I wish there was more on that. And I wish there was history books on that, and I wish there was hardcore facts and finding on that because I've listened to oh, I can't remember his name. But I was listening to a story about some giants and stuff like that, and JT was talking about some giants a little while ago and the Nephilim and stuff like that. Um, but it kind of perked my ears on some giant stuff. So I started just kind of like digging into it a little bit. But dude, in every single culture, it seems like on the planet has stories in their ancient history about fucking giants being on the land.
Well, and
It's just
I forget what book it is and what verse in the Bible, but or you know, but they talk about sending angels down to chop the trees down. That way, there's
oh,
nowhere for anybody to climb up above the water. Paraphrasing, of course.
that gets into another subject that I was going to throw on the agenda tonight, but I didn't because that's a long and windy road. But
So
so do you think
that
that
would explain why the trees got cut down, and
chopped down?
yeah, but that means that the fern and fauna is a lot different than it used to be. It means trees could have been bigger. The redwoods, quite possibly, are what's left of the giant trees. Within the last 5-10 years, they've actually just found out that the reason why there's no new redwoods growing is because there has not been any wildfires. And when the redwoods drop seeds, it actually takes heat and fire to hatch the
What?
seeds. So that's why there's been zero, if any, new redwoods that have started growing.
That's wild.
And it's because it's the most protected forest in the United States. But truth be told, if we just hands off,
So, yeah. Let it
they
do its
would.
thing.
Uh-huh.
They'd flourish. Even create their own fires, I guess, so to
Yeah, I
speak.
mean, lightning strikes, if you're not there to freaking, extinguish it, then all of a sudden these seeds are hot and they're popping and create new redwoods. So they were trying to figure out why there was no more redwoods, and then I don't know, somebody decided to pop popcorn and figured out that that's how the shit happens.
I was doing an Instagram video and do shit down on a hot rock. Some
Yeah.
sticks down on a hot rock.
So I mean that's within the last 5 to 10 years, right? So that really tells us how little we actually know about any of this shit.
Yeah,
And
and our history only dates back to what, 7,000-8,000 years? Like
so
written, right?
so I think we have like a pretty solid historical record, um, to 2 to 3,000 years, and then there's some that go from that 3 to I don't know 6-7,000 year mark that is kind of touch and go.
Yeah.
And then when you get to like the younger dryas and stuff, like the Randall Carlson stuff, and that kind of that spot in history where it's 11,000, 12,000 years ago when they start talking about floods
Mm-hmm.
and something that happened to the earth, and people that went underground, people that did all kinds of crazy shit, and there was all these human civilizations that were around that made it through it. Then you have a little less recorded history, and whether it's because of the Smithsonian or because we just can't understand what the fuck they're saying in their
Yeah,
writing.
but that's the whole thing though too, is like if they're recording their history, I mean that it can't be that hard to decode. I mean,
Uh,
we figured out Chinese, and that shit is fucking hard. Like I don't
yeah,
even
but
want
we
to.
still have Chineses.
I
Just
I
saying,
know, but
you know.
that was passed on. You know what I mean? That was passed on. I mean, from the beginning, it had to have been kind of a Sanskrit type language, right?
Possibly. So it was thought that Chinese, Japanese, Korean for the longest time was not a Latin based language.
Mm-hmm.
But when they really started digging into it, and I think there was a little bit of Russian involved when they really started digging into it, that it turned out to be a Latin language. It was just closer to numbers than letters and words.
And they're just basically kind of giving numbers, sounds. Is that is that
It
what the theory was?
just, I'm trying to remember exactly what it was, but it was it was thought to be that they were the only languages on Earth that weren't Latin based. And then it
Mm-hmm.
turned out that they were very Latin based, and a lot of like OG Russian had to do with it.
It
And
makes sense.
it, I mean, really what it ended up putting out was that most of the languages, or if not all the languages, are Latin based in the world. So, yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that says that it's not Latin based, and, or, yeah, that it's not Latin based, and there's some stuff that says it is. And it's Ryukin family of languages is what, like, these Asian languages like Chinese, Korean, Japanese.
Mhm.
But there's some evidence still that they are Greek or Latin. It's just a different basis. And all of this shit goes back to like Sumerian languages and things like that.
Well, that's
So
what I was gonna say. I mean, where do they all kind of base themselves in? Because they all kind of have to come from, early humans or early inhabitants, whether they were human or not. So I guess my question is where was the origin of all of them?
I think that, unfortunately for, you know, Democrats and stuff like that, I think Russia plays a gigantic part in these languages because Russia was, it's kind of in the middle of all of it. It's in the middle of Asia. It was, one side of it was Asia, one side of it is Europe.
Yeah, it's kind of that
So they,
Eurasia type.
yeah, they got to
Hmm.
speak all of it, right?
Hmm. Kind of like
Even,
a middleman.
yeah, even the Germanic languages and um, Norse languages and things like that. So it's kind of a really big mix. And, you know, you can go online and, I mean, there's even shit that I'm looking at that's telling me that I'm wrong, but there's also shit that's telling me that I'm right too. So
So
suck it, science.
who the
Yeah,
who the fuck knows?
yeah. So fuck you, Smithsonian.
I think it's good though. Well,
Only
this
time
isn't
will tell.
this isn't a smooth transition, but dreams. I want to talk about dreams, because lately I've been having some crazy ass dreams,
You've
and
been having some dreams, my guy?
dude, I'm a dream weaver. I'm a,
I believe you can get me through the night. Ooh, dream weaver. I believe we can reach the morning light.
I love
Fly me
singing.
high through the
Yeah, you and JT both on the podcast.
Not very good
Just,
at it. Now I'll dub that in if I can afford the music. I can afford the copyright.
fuck, I hope you can't.
I can't. I don't know. Is that guy dead now? He's been dead for a while, hasn't he?
Yeah, no, fuck, I'm gonna have to look it up now. Fuck. So what
What was
about your
his name?
dreams? What is
The dreams, man. The dreams. So
Gary Wright?
they've been Gary Wright.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Ching. Um, they've been um, very active lately. And I've always kind of been a lucid dreamer. And when I first started telling people about it, I know there's lucid dreamers out there. Um, and hey tribe, hey lucid dreamers. But when I first started telling people about it, I was a pretty young age, and they're like, "What? What are you talking about? You can't control your dreams." Most people dream in they are kind of in a state where they're watching a movie happening. They're watching stuff unfold in front of them, and they're just kind of behind this film screen or curtain, so to speak, cloudy curtain. Watching the stuff go on,
Mm-hmm.
and you're never really involved. And that's how the majority of people that I've talked to that want to talk about dreams, because when it's like it's like me walking up to the hobo and being like, "Hey man,
What are you dreaming about, guy?
what are you thinking about dreams? What have you dreamed about lately?"
I'm dreaming
And just
about a
want
Big Mac with a fucking Biggie Fry and a Biggie Coke, you son of a bitch. What
you
the
think
fuck
you
do you
can
think I'm
you
dreaming
think you
about?
can take care of this for me, guy?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, most people I talk to about dreams, that's that's the feedback that I got. They're very kind of behind the screen watching it all happen.
What about if they're
Um,
being chased?
I don't know. That seems to be more of the nightmare thing, and people only talk about that when they're having nightmares. Um, and mine didn't start off as like nightmares being lucid, because those are kind of lucid. Like you got to run, you gotta dodge whatever they're throwing at you. You got to do whatever. Um, but
Up,
um,
down, left, right.
yeah. But then it ends in some sort of harsh way, and
Mm.
it's
But
it's
if you can control it, it doesn't.
exactly. And that's what I started to be able to do, is control the dream, control the sequence, control what was going on, stop and talk to people, and really kind of make the whole thing work in my favor. Like you can control it. You're walking. You're and but then it got kind of scary, because then I couldn't. It got so real and so vivid that half the time, like, I didn't know that I was asleep. Like a lot of times, like you can feel kind of the clouds and the heaviness of being asleep while you're dreaming, even if you're lucid dreaming, and controlling it and stuff like that. But when it gets to the point to where you just feel like you're living in the dream, you're living, you eat dinner, you drink water, you go for your walk, you do your fucking job, you know what I mean? And in your dream, that's when it gets fucking weird, bro. And that's when I got a question, like, is it another reality? Is it another dimension? Or are you living past life or future life that you may or may not be living? Because I gotta tell you, dude, like, I've had situations to where I've had a dream about a specific person, and we did something, or whatever it may be. Those two, yeah, not gonna lie, not gonna lie. And then it happened in real life.
Good
A
for
week
you.
or two later,
Check
not
us
me
out.
seeking them out or anything like that, but we run into each other, and then the situation happens, and it plays out exactly in the dream, and then we write it off to deja vu.
Oh,
And what the
here's
fuck is deja vu?
here's buying bananas.
Seriously, dude.
Here's buying
You bump
bananas.
bump into a chick that you haven't seen in like 19 years at the Smiths, and
She
all of a
lives in
sudden,
fucking Albuquerque.
yeah, exactly, exactly. It's like, what are you doing here? Well, what
So,
are you doing here? It's like,
oh,
I think I dreamt about this. Well, I did too. Well, what the fuck? This is weird.
I just made a mistake in my glass.
Fill it to
Uh,
full.
yeah.
That's never a mistake. That's a happy accident, is what that is.
Sneaking up on me.
Easy, Rod. We got to
Um,
get some sponsorships going on here, man.
yeah, where the fuck you at, James? Anyway,
Right.
so is this like a recent thing you've been able to start controlling your dreams, or is this something that's happened to you for long time?
Long to years, as far back as I could remember. Probably 9, 10, something like that, when I became aware of what dreams actually were. And well, I guess, I don't know, being awaking dreams, I guess. I don't know. It's been a long time. And the thing is too, that skill gets better and better and better and better as time goes
As you
by.
practice.
Yeah, and you can control them, and then, dude, like a lot of times, I am so happy to go to sleep because I'm excited about what's gonna happen when I'm in dreamland, and being able to control it, and being able to like you know get in a melee or get in a certain situation that I can control. It's gonna be a good time.
So I've been able to do this as far back as I can remember as well.
Right? Lucid dream. You've never told me about this.
Never asked.
Glad I brought it up.
Uh, but so I've always had a issue where I didn't like to dream because when I dreamt something, uh, I was over 50 I was over 50% on that it would happen.
Oh,
And generally when I had a dream and I remembered the dream, something bad was going to happen. So, believe it, don't believe it, I don't really give a fuck. I don't have to fucking prove it to anybody.
right.
But generally when I dreamt something was going to happen, it was going to happen, and it was going to happen bad. Um, so for the longest time, I tried not to have lucid dreams. Like I tried not to have any dreams at all. You know, when I would call it like waking up in a dream. So when you would wake up in a dream, I would
Hmm.
try and shut the dream down immediately because I knew something bad was going to happen if I kept it going.
So something bad as far as like a bad situation with a person or a
Somebody was going to
tragedy
die.
or it's more or less death then, huh?
Somebody was going to die.
It's like a prerequisite to to death.
Yeah. I mean, there was one time where fucking I uh I think I was in Okinawa. I was fucking just murder drunk. Just annihilated. Went to bed, went through the whole dream, um, lucid dreaming. I wasn't me, I was somebody else. Um, I was a female, just fucking weird. Uh, and it was a skydiving incident, and
Really?
parachute didn't open. Person fucking alive, 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 bounce off the fucking
Whoa.
ground. And next day, got to work, checked the fucking news, and somebody jumped out of a plane back in the States, parachute didn't open, died.
Was it a chick?
It was a female.
Wow. That's kind of nuts, dude.
Yeah.
That
So
that kind of takes it to another level.
I don't like to do that. So I'm a very conflicted individual when it comes to sleep and things of that nature. Uh, it, you know, some things you can stop, some things you can't.
Hmm.
And so I would err on the side of um if you get in those situations and there was a few situations like that I could count on one hand where it was something like that, where it was somebody else, and I could try and stop it. And if I didn't fucking win, then somebody was gonna fucking die.
So did that make you start to try to control them? Like say for
Well,
exist.
I've always tried to control them, but it started to make me afraid to go into that. And it might be why now I don't. Every once in a while I have a dream now where I remember it And my mantra is like, if I remember it, it's going to happen. And then if I haven't fixed it there, then I have to fix it here. And if I
Yeah,
can't fix it here, somebody's going to get fucked up.
That's fucking scary. That's almost like a living nightmare. I mean, you know what I mean? Like you're seeing the future in your dreams, and I'm sure there's been movies made about that, right? And then you have to try to stop it, from happening in reality. Um,
No
that's
idea, but
fucking scary. I would not want to dream anymore after
it's
that.
not fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
At this point, it's kind of like I've tried to build up barriers where it can't happen, and that if it happens, I know that I have to do something on the other end to make it not happen. You know
But
what I mean?
so every time that you've tried to make it not happen in the dream, it just happened anyway. So say
No.
for
It's
instance,
like if I was successful there, then I was okay when I woke up.
okay,
But if I was
okay,
unsuccessful there, then
then you had to take action in real life
and if
to
I
try to
couldn't
figure out.
if I couldn't figure out it there, then I just read the news.
Wow.
It's a it's a really traumatic situation.
Yeah, you think? Yeah, because that's something like you see it and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Especially like if it's on the other side of the world. Maybe if it's something close to you, and that's, I guess, when it even gets scarier, if it's somebody or a situation that's close to you that you recognize, um trying to thwart that tragic disaster, you know what I mean? And if you're unsuccessful, then
I've had
where
those
do
happen, and those are actually easier.
really?
hmm it's like the closer it is to you, the easier it is to figure out, and the
Eh,
easier it is to stop.
okay, that makes sense. um
But if it's far away from you, it's like, who the fuck do you call? Who do you reach out to? How do you
yeah,
stop it? It's just, and like time is kind of relative, right? So you have an idea of when it is, but
mhm,
you don't know when it is, right? So is it East Coast? Is it West Coast? Is it Indiana? Is it Texas? Is it, that type of stuff?
right.
So
Like
that shit's
you don't get the
that sh-
full message. Like this is in Europe, and this person looked at their watch and you could see what time it was and the
mhm.
day it was, and anything like those details are not clear.
That shit started happening to me in Okinawa. It started happening to me in Japan. It's the first time that it fucking happened.
It doesn't surprise me. I think that there's a lot of there's a lot of spiritual energy.
Well, I mean, 400,000 people died on a
Yeah.
55 by 10-mile wide
Island.
island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um God, man, that's pretty wild. I I
I
I
didn't see
was
this
I
going
was
there.
I was not expecting this. I
I
was
did
not
not see this
expecting
going there.
this at all.
Yeah,
I
no,
did, I
people are
didn't
gonna
see it
not
going
expect
this
that,
way.
or they're gonna call me a liar. But just wait until I dream about you, motherfucker.
Well, the thing is people have tried to study dreams, and but there's really no rhyme or reason for dreams per se. Um, but when they're happening, they're happening, and no one can explain why they're happening, and no one can explain, um, the reasons behind them. But the premonition type stuff that you're talking about is wild. And I've only had that happen. I mean, it's happened quite a bit. But at the same time, I've only had it happen in, positive situations, or positive just chance meetings, or positive like this. But I still could probably count them on two hands, maybe three hands, over the time that I've been kind of mentally recording that this is a thing. Um, but at the same time, like,
When it comes to
having a
stuff like that, for the longest time, I really thought something was wrong with me
yeah,
because it just came in bad all the time. And like, even just, trying to, like, hey, just kind of like step this way. And
mhm,
then, a piece of shrapnel fucking flies. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just shit
yeah,
like that. And, we could chalk it up to, dreams. We could chalk it up to foresight, something like that. Not trying to. This is going to be an awkward subject, right? This is an awkward subject now
it is an
because
awkward
I
subject,
already
yeah.
fucking let the cat out of the bag or the monkey out of the box, and the monkey doesn't go back in the box. But you know,
So
so
let's
so
expand on it.
yeah, so now I'm a freak.
Freak.
Yeah, dude, dude, it's happened. I've done it with you. I've done it, like, it's just kind of like one of those things you kind of learn to live with.
Mhm,
And if you get to pull those people out around you, you just pull those people out around you.
mhm,
And there's been times where, like, it's just like, hey, okay, we're leaving now. I'm like, huh? Okay, we're leaving now. And we'll just go. So it's the dreams and stuff like that started happening when I was in Okinawa, but the the intuition, the foresight and stuff like that started happening when I was a teenager,
uh-huh.
and it was never wrong. It was to the point where my buddies, if I was like, we gotta go, they were like, all right,
Like
he's a freak, let's
he's a
go.
freak. They
Yeah.
didn't even question, yeah.
And
And
then
they're
the
just
cops
like,
would show
okay,
up to, like, the party
it's time to
like
go.
10 minutes later, or
Right.
we'd pass the cops as they were on the way to the party. Like, it was that fucking weird.
Well, and I don't know whether, it's it's a it's a guardian angel type situation, that's tapping on your shoulder during your
Very well could
dreams,
be.
or just having kind of, a God presence around us, because, I mean, um that we believe in that, and when we believe in spirituality, and how that can protect you. um and but same thing, dude. I've been in a ton of situations to where, the intuition's there, the premonition's there, and almost the, like I said, the deja vu's there, in a situation where it was like, this is going to turn out bad, so we got to get the fuck out of here, or let's just go around the corner for a minute, or let's just do something else. Let's go over here, you know what I mean? And then, something wild happens over there where we were, and it's just like, whoa, the people around you were just kind of like, um oh, that was lucky. It wasn't really lucky. I was getting kind of a thing about it. So let's just
It's like an energy
go.
shift,
And
dude. It's an
yeah,
energy shift.
and
And
yeah, and we don't have to talk about it after. We just you know, you're
let's be
right. It's an
happy we're
energy
not in it.
shift. Yeah, it's an energy shift. It's a kind of like almost a gravity shift too. Like something, the molecules change, and it turns into something else, and and that's when you know you're not supposed to be there. You know that feeling, and those are the times you just got to walk away. I can't say that I've had a lot of bad in dreams happen like that where they've manifested into those kind of situations, but I have had the deja vu feel and the kind of the premonition feel like I've been here before. You know what I mean? Like maybe it's a dream that I
Mhm.
had that I forgot that I needed to forget, but the feeling is still there. And it's like this feels really familiar and it feels fucking bad. So let's uh let's exit.
Mhm. And so I'm not the only one uh, in our in our lineage that has that type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that thing's passed down for sure.
Yeah, no, and it's a thing, and it's really weird to talk about too, like on a podcast, because it seems like it's very taboo and it's very fringe. Um,
Right.
and not a lot of people will believe it, but the ones that are gonna believe it are gonna be like full there,
Hmm.
and the ones that aren't, they're not going to until they experience something like it. And I don't know, man. It's super weird. Um, and it's not something that's normal by any means, right?
Well,
And it's I've tried to sequester all of that
hmm
for a very long time. And it may be the wrong move. It may be entirely the wrong move because it affects your sleep, right? It affects your rest, affects your
hmm
sleep and energy levels and things like that. So with everything that's going on, and we've talked about like a pineal gland, right? I feel like the
hmm
pineal gland has a whole lot to do with it.
I think so.
Um,
Yeah.
and decalcifying that when you're young, it's you haven't fucked it up as much. When you're older, you're just trying to decalcify it. Um, and now, I've sequestered that stuff for so long that now when I actually have a dream, I know that shit is serious.
Well, here's another thing though too, and I've heard this, from people in our lineage, um, namely one of our favorite cousins. Um, he is so tuned in, and he doesn't want to be tuned in, but he's so
Yeah.
fucking tuned in that has to he has to curb it
He's
in the
driven
way
it's driven him to the brink.
it has. And I gotta tell you, I'm not far behind him, and I was fucking neck and neck with him in my 20s. I think probably from the time about 21 to about, I don't know, 28, 29. um it was that same thing. Like I had to numb that pineal gland or whatever it was. I had to numb it with alcohol to just to fucking sleep at night, just to sleep, just to get a few fucking hours, because so much was coming. You know what I mean? And a lot was coming in dream form. And it was just too much. You know what I mean? It's too much. And it's too much to process. It's too much to try to um it's too much.
Decipher.
Yeah, it's too much to decipher. It's too much to take on responsibility of, just even like that. Like how hard is that to have something like that happen, you know what I mean, in a dream. You see somebody, perish, and then you look at it, you see it on the news the next day, and there's absolutely nothing you could have done to prevent it. but you still have to take the responsibility. Well, I saw that. You know what I mean? To put that on yourself and put that on your psyche is just fucking torture. You know what I mean? And I know that he's had a lot of that shit, a ton of that shit. And you talk to him for long enough, in just as well as I do, the mental struggles that he goes through. And still to this day, you know what I mean? He has to quiet those fucking voices, so to speak, with with substance abuse, and it's rough. And I don't, I don't envy that. And I'm glad that, it happens sparingly. Not, I mean, the bad happens sparingly to me. But, I get a lot of good, and I have that. I don't want that door to open, you know what I mean? That bad door to open, because,
Well,
for the
that's
most part, for the most part, it's positive,
yeah,
for me.
good for you, guy. That's why I thought
sorry.
that's why I thought for so long that something was wrong with me, is because all I got was bad.
But then how do you go tell a therapist about that? How do you tell, a shrinker
Nah,
about that? How do you tell a
you
neurologist about
you
that?
just compartmentalize.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just put it in a little box.
Yeah.
Close the top on the box.
Maybe you'll remember something and open the box later. Maybe
Maybe,
you won't.
yeah.
Maybe your
Maybe you
kids will
won't.
find it. There'll be some fucked up letters in it later. Yeah.
What are you gonna write stories about it, guy? I don't know, man.
That's what I mean. I'd be a fucking short story fucking gajillionaire.
Dude, seriously. You'd have that big old book of English ghost stories that I stole from the library when I was fucking 12.
Yeah, no, it'd be a dangerous existence. Um, yeah, dreams are definitely something that puts you on a different plane of existence, and kudos to those that just get regular dreams and that don't believe anything that we're fucking saying.
Mm-hmm.
God, I give it up to those guys.
See,
I
like
give
I
it up to
envy
those
the
guys.
fuck out of you
Yeah,
guys.
good for you. Yeah, you have a nightmare. Ah, you poor fuck.
Well, and the nightmares are
I
dumb.
feel
Like
so
we're
I
out of
feel so
milk. We're
yeah.
out of like there's 2 drops left in the
Or there's
milk
a
thing,
fucking
and you're
clown
pouring your
chasing you
cereal.
and
Ah,
you're just
fucking
running.
clowns.
Fuck clowns. Yeah.
Fuck
Well, when you
that. That
can
shit
like
is.
stop your dream, turn around, pick up a knife and knife the clown, that's when you have
That's when you've turned the corner.
you fucked up. Fucked up.
Yeah, but
Just
the
keep
thing is
keep running
once.
from the clown, people.
Yeah, keep running from the clown, because when you don't, when you force yourself to stop, turn around, punch him in the face or knife him in the face, that's when it opens a door that you can't close.
Can't turn it back.
Yeah, you can't close. And the
Absolutely
people
cannot turn it back.
that just don't dream, or don't remember their dreams, man, I envy you guys too. Like I can't. There's been very few nights in my whole existence where I've just had zero dreams. Like it's been completely black and it's been complete sleep. And the only time that really happens is if, excuse me, if I get completely blackout drunk and then I just pass the fuck out. And not related, like not, it's like I can't dream tonight, so I just get fucked up. It's just, situational. And then I'll just go out, you know, hardcore brick house, pass out. No dreams, no nothing. It's just darkness. And then I'll wake up just with a raging fucking hangover and other shit to deal with.
Yeah, I've definitely been there more than once. After you push it away for so long, only the real heaters can come through.
The heaters, yeah. Dude, you took the words right out of my
You
mouth.
know.
I was gonna say, yeah, the real heaters, the real bombs, they come
Yeah.
through. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you get a call from me at 2 a.m. saying don't do something, just fucking don't do it. Because if you do, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Even if it's like, don't go to work, guy.
But it's one of those things that are still unexplained. You cannot put a finger on it. Science can't explain it. Spirituality can't explain it. God can't explain it. The Bible can't explain it. There's no written formula for why this happens, and why, what, who sees what and when. There's no explanation for it, and it's such a dark, wild, weird area that I think that, uh, I mean, it's hard to explore. It's one of those things where it's almost like, okay, we have our energy in our life source, okay, right? And nobody knows where that comes from. Yeah, you can say it's electricity firing off in your brain and blah blah blah, and you have your heart pumping through you, and this whole thing works as a system to keep your whatever. But at the same time, nobody knows where that comes from. Where does that engine start? Okay. And that's kind of the same where dreams come from. You don't they're in each person's head. You can't single them out, and you can't explain them.
Stuff. And that they took cells from people's bodies and they hooked them up to lie detector tests.
Mhm.
And they did it from 50 miles away. They had the cells and everything hooked up to a lie detector test, and they did like stress tests. Basically like scared, in danger, things like that. And they
Oh,
started
really?
getting spikes on the lie detector test that was hooked up to these cells.
Whoa.
So even though your body is not entirely there, you're 50 miles away, you still have a cellular response. So
Wow.
electrical magnetic response to what is happening to you here is also happening to you 50 miles away.
Well, that almost throws a lot of validation to what you were talking about last week, how we're all,
It's one big
electrically,
thing.
yeah, electrically combined.
Yeah, it's just not one big organism, but there's a whole lot of connections that are electrical and magnetic that we don't even know about. That
I wish there was more um data about it or research about it, but how can you research it? I mean, you can do dream studies and you can do sleep studies, but at the same time, what happens in my brain while I'm asleep is going to be different than everybody else's on the world.
well, and like
And
when they start like hooking you up to like all the electrodes and stuff like that and start measuring the brain, like they're measuring waves for sure,
hmm
but they don't know how far the waves are going, what the reach is, where the signals are coming from, where the signals are going to, right?
and what kind of images they're creating in your head. And I think that
21 grams. 21 grams is the weight of the soul. It's been studied, it's been weighed.
how can you can't weigh the soul?
At the time of death, the body at the time of death, the body is 21 grams lighter.
What?
Yes.
So do you think the soul encompasses all the electricity in your body, all the firing, all the mechanisms, all the electricity, everything that's going on?
I think the soul is not so like there's so much that says that like the soul is, it's within.
It's an
but it's
internal thing.
within it. But it's within. It's always derived from like the chesticle cavity, or the torso.
Hmm.
I think the soul is up here.
I think so too.
I think the soul's up here.
I think
But
of the soul's. It's a spiritual thing, just like just like the dream state is. It's something that is
if
within. I don't know, man. It's within you.
well, it becomes uh non-spiritual if you look at the study and you follow the study that it's only 21 grams. It becomes non-spiritual and it becomes very real.
That's true. That's true. But my thing is though, is then where does it go? You know what I mean? You just got 21 grams disappeared from you, and you can't measure where that goes, and 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 if because it's not just going to disappear, because I'm a firm believer in that your soul lives on, and that
Well, it goes
was
somewhere else.
well, that was my
That's
whole run back into reincarnation, and it fits perfectly.
Where does the soul go? Does it sail off?
Where does it go? I
Does it
me
go up? Does it go
personally,
down? Does it go side?
yeah, me personally, I I would hope that, I mean, mine goes up. Um, I've been told by many people my whole life since I was young that I was an old soul. And I really never really cared to know what that meant until, I think I probably got into my, early to mid 20s or something like that. And then I started taking it as a compliment. Um, but then you dive into what that statement actually means. Okay, well, that means that your soul has been, you know,
It's been around for a while.
yeah, it's been recycled through this, our timeline or our existence, you know, many times. And to think about that, that makes sense. And I feel like that I think a lot um a lot deeper and maybe a little more logical and a little more um I think situations a lot or through a lot quicker and easier than, maybe a younger soul would. You cited a instance that happened to you just this past weekend.
She says you
Or
have no right being so young and saying or teaching things so old. I mean, based on our belief system, I would like to think that we're not here for a long time,
hmm
you know, and based on our belief system, we're not supposed to be. But I feel like there's been a few people that have gotten through that mental block and have really kind of figured out what's on the other side. And a lot of times, from the news and things that I've read, it's been kids.
yeah.
I mean, there was one kid, I forget his name, but he was a 5, 6 year old, and on the other side, he was a World War II fighter pilot,
hmm
and he talked about his friends getting shot down, and he talked about where and when and everything else, and they researched it, and they were like, "Holy shit, he has it all nailed down."
And
And
that was
as he got
just
older, he started to forget.
that started to dwindle away.
Yeah. And now he's a grown ass man. I think he's probably like 35, 36, something like that. Um, and he remembers bits and pieces, but he doesn't remember the whole thing. But for a finite amount of time, he was that person. He was Captain whoever,
hmm
and he flew missions, and he died. He remembered his own death,
Really?
and it was
I
hitting. It was getting shot down and hitting the water.
Yeah, I vaguely remember this story. But there's been many like it, especially with kids. Um, and it's weird though too because I mean there's supposed to be this this block is that you don't remember these past lives. You could have, you know, thousands of past lives, but you're not supposed to remember them. And these kids have had that door open where they're remembering it and they're citing this stuff like it happened to them yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's a dream state, like they had this dream and this is, excuse me, this is what they're talking about, and this is what happened in their dream or anything like that. It's like it fucking happened to him yesterday.
Yeah, and this one specifically, he remembered everything. He remembered the names. He remembered who was part of who was wingman was, what squadron,
That
what
is
his name
wild.
was, and that when he hit the water, it was cold, and that the canopy didn't go back, and that's where he died. They found the plane there. They found his wingman squadron mates there. Like, it was a
Wow.
legit thing. And it was a boy no older than, 5 or 6.
That's crazy. And stories like that, I mean there's been thousands of them.
Oh, and there was
Um
even further. There was a girl that the guy was seeing before he died. And the kid remembered everything about the gal
no
and
way.
went and like said her name. They went and found her, and she was like in her 70s, 60s. She was in her 70s, and recounted things that they had done together. And this kid was basically a baby.
No way.
Yeah, it was an absolute fucking trip. I will have to look and see
Look and see
what
if you
the
can
name.
find that. That would be amazing to look up and really kind of cite. But you look at those things and it's the truth. I mean, I don't know how you can kind of at this day and age deny, reincarnation. When I remember when I first heard about it, it was down in Sunday school, right? And Chuck was talking about it and this kind of stuff and I think even at that time it was kind of a little taboo to talk about um in the church because it was, back then it was more of a, you do good deeds, you do this, you help your fellow man, you're going to go to heaven. You don't kill, you don't steal, you don't rob, and yada yada yada, you're going to go to heaven. And that's where
Mhm.
your soul goes. And it was this whole promise of, you basically be a good human being, your soul will go to heaven. And but there was no really account of what kind of works your soul did after that. You know what I mean? It was almost just like a, hey, you made it, you made it to the big dance, and then everybody's just hanging out. But but if you think about it, even in that sort of setting and that young, and I was probably shit, I was probably younger than Flip, dude. I was probably like 7 or 8, and even in that age, I thought, okay, so I'm a good person. My soul goes to heaven, and we become angels, all this kind of thing. But is that where it ends? Like, are we just kind of chilling here and we're all good? But what happens after this?
Taking that,
It's
like,
yeah, yeah. I mean, it just seems like there's
To go
more
to
work.
Smith's to get cheesecake after this?
Yeah. I mean, it just seems like there's more work to do. So if we're all just hanging out here in heaven, like, why aren't we doing anything? Why aren't we doing more work? Why aren't we
Just-
saving the rest of humanity? And it makes sense. Reincarnation makes sense to me as far as, okay, now you made it to this realm. You're good. You made it to the spiritual realm. Now we're going to send you back so you can do some more work to help out humanity again.
You just hang out, just LIVIN.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I
You
mean,
know?
you're just not going to be chilling on the couch and just hanging out, just waiting for everybody to come home. I don't know.
So,
It just seems like there's more work to
James-
be done.
James Leniger is the cat that I was talking about.
James Liniger, look that up, folks.
Yeah. So, and on the flip side, there's actually some Luftwaffe pilots that it's happened to as well. In World War II.
Some what pilots?
Luftwaffe?
Luftwaffe?
German pilots.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So, yeah, Leniger, I mean, it's
The-
thing.
The whole story's there. Did you skim it?
Yeah, it's all there.
Yeah. Send me the link and I'll put it down below so that the folks can
Asshole to
check it
elbow.
out.
University of Virginia School of Medicine.
How
even
old is
has
the guy
link.
now? Is he about your age now, or is he a little older now?
Let's see. He is.
I'm wondering because I'd like to get him. I'd like to get him on the cast. I'd like to, just extend our reach a little bit. For some of these things that we talk about, just add a little bit of legitimacy and say, hey, like, tell your story. We want to hear your story. It's very intriguing, and it's obviously not for the faint of heart. But at the
So-
same time, it's super interesting.
So he was 6 in 2005.
God, he's a young buck, dude. 6
Yeah,
and 05.
he's beginning
Shit,
at
he's like-
age 2 in 2000. So he's 26, right?
Damn, he's young. Yeah.
Yeah. So fighter pilot James Hudson.
How old was Hudson when he died? He was probably around 25, maybe 27. They don't let you pilot much after 30, do they?
Oh yeah, they sure do.
Well, not. What was it? WW1 or WW2?
WW2. He was 21 years old.
Good
Pilot from Pennsylvania who was killed only days before his ship was scheduled to leave Iwo Jima.
Son of a bitch.
Motherfucker.
That's how it always happens.
21. He didn't even get to live.
Wow.
But this whole reincarnation thing, it's a trip, right?
Super trip.
How
And
many,
like I said,
how many lives could you have lived? Is your reincarnation attached to your name? Is it attached to the duties that you do? Is it attached to the services that you do? You know what I mean?
yeah, it's
Every time
really
that are you spread amongst more than one? Are you one? Are you many? There's a lot of things that go along with it.
that'd be very interesting, and I honestly hadn't even thought about it even that far because I don't know if it would be attached to your name. I think it would be just kind of attached to your duties. You know what I mean? Like you got a duty list,
What constitutes it being attached at all?
and or it might be one of those things where this person needs a little saving. This person needs a little God in their life. you know, and it might be a whole thing where you're reincarnated. Like,
Just
I
to die?
no, I don't mean to break it down to this, but like the thing is like, you know, how you say I'm the hobo whisperer might be one of those things. It's like, you know what? You are supposed to save this one soul, and you don't know when this soul's going to come up to you. You don't know when this soul is going to contact you, but you need to go save this one soul. Because if you don't, this person may be the next Hitler or whatever. You know what I mean? And this person comes up to you, and you just stop and have a chat with them, and give them your energy, and give them a little bit of your soul, a little bit of saving. Turns that person around. They don't become the next, you know, Hitler. They don't, or the next dictator, and we bomb the whole world, and it goes to shit. You know what I mean? So who's to say it's not just that thing? And then okay, well, you're in this person's body. You're gonna live out the rest of their life. This is what they're gonna do, and then we'll
Yeah.
cycle you back in when you know when this
Sorry
guy,
about your
when
dick.
this guy's fucking 80. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm super bummed out about, you know, there not being like more than one Alexander the Great. Feeling, you know, pretty good about my name. But not as good about my conquest of lands and peoples.
Well, it's not out of the realm because
Well, I mean, he was dead by the time he was my age.
yeah, but maybe one of his or one of your past conquerors weren't. So I think you still got time to buy up all the land, and I think
Fuck that. I
that's
don't want to buy it up. I want to conquer it. It's free when it's conquered.
what are you gonna do with it though? Like,
I don't know.
what are you gonna do? You gonna
Whatever
put
the fuck
houses on
people
it?
that conquer things do.
Are you gonna make a fucking lake out of it? I don't know.
Build
I just
hot tubs.
hot tubs, just or yeah. I don't
Just
know, man.
tons of geothermic bathhouses.
We are into time. This has been good though. I'm super happy at the twists and turns that
Yeah.
that this one's made.
The
And
tales that we will tell.
yeah, and I'm gonna be very disappointed if we don't we don't get a lot of laughs and a lot of clicks and a lot of comments. I mean we came in hot. Came in hot.
Yeah.
With some messages that some fairer folks may not agree with. So I'm looking forward to that. And we love you, ladies. But you know, I mean, it's just things that we have to talk about. It's us. We're dudes. And we'd be glad to banter with you a little bit. We're not aggressive. Just come chat. Press, but you know, let's keep the low blows to a minimum.
Unless you're a housewife, and keep the low blows to a maximum.
Those housewives, but God bless them though. You know what I mean? Because nowadays, to be honest with you, if you're gonna be a housewife, it's a choice. It's really a choice. And if they're doing it and they're doing it right and not bitching about it, hey, hats off to you.
I don't
Hats
know.
off to you, ladies.
I had a housewife
1000%.
until God, what was it? I had a housewife until he turned 5. Till Sam turned 5.
Mm-hmm.
Then she just became my sugar mama because she's way smarter than me.
Dude.
So, you know.
You got fucking lucky with that. See,
Yeah.
that's why I said that she's one of a kind. I mean, she's smart, she's funny.
Absolutely terrifying.
She'll kick the shit out of you. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
super terrifying. She can be a housewife,
Yeah,
or she can be a sugar mama. Like
Yeah.
she's got the 5 FECTA going on with her.
She's super
Like,
pretty too. She
yeah.
is.
She's
Yeah.
not hard to look at.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, Sorry, guys. Just mine.
Taken.
Suck it. Anyway, shout outs to everybody that's up there in the Montanas. We got steamrollers. We got what do we got? We got steamrollers. We
Machinery,
have
there's woodworkers. There's
we got
there's all kinds of
people
stuff.
sanding. We got
Doc.
people
I
screwing.
don't
we
even know
got
what
people.
Doc. Yeah, I don't even know what Doc's doing up there, but I'm
He's-
sure that he's bitching while he's
He's
doing
wearing
it.
flannels. He's wearing flannels, being pissed.
But he's getting the job done, and that's all that really matters. So
Yeah, it's the end of the winter. It is spring in Montana, and we are 3 weeks away,
the snow
three
is
and a half
melted.
weeks away from just putting mead down your gullet. So,
Dude, it is go time. Please check the socials because we're going to be posting more. We're going to be throwing it out there more. Share, like, and subscribe to all of them. Just do it for us. It's not going to hurt you. It takes 3 seconds, and just get the word out and get our product out because we want to do this, and we do this for you. We do this for everybody. We just want to share what we've created with all of y'all. However, one shout out that I do want to make is specifically is to Charlie One Horse. This man,
the one horse.
goodness, man, this guy is just a beaming ray of positivity and force and gumption and just go-getterism. Like this guy,
You just coined a term, go-getterism.
go-getterism. Yeah, write it down. You can use it wherever you want. He's not swayed by anything, and it's just kind of a boom, 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 go. No matter what roadblock, no matter what, the guy just fucking goes. And we're all doing a lot of this, in our spare time and spare time that we make for it because we want to do it. Like we want to make this our full-time gig. So everybody's putting in extra hours, everybody's putting in extra work, and that guy is not, he's not short of anybody else. He's rocking it, he's killing it. He's our main salesman. So if you hear from Charlie One Horse, you you get a text, an email, or something, or even you see his posts or something like that. Do some good.
Get back at him. He's a real
get
deal.
back at him. Yeah, he is a real deal. He rocks it out.
One thing upcoming, there is going to be another Bearded Viking / VOC. We have another date coming up soon with the Two Mics live crew. So that will be live. We will be able to say all the things that we want to say because we are entirely unfiltered when we go live on Rumble with them, and we will see Vico again soon. And it might be on this live show with Two Mics Live, and we might go live ourselves. We're still working out some details, but it's going to happen soon, and it will happen before the GO, the grand opening. So
it's gonna happen before the GO.
It's gonna happen before the GO.
That's exciting. It's very exciting.
So we might see some wife beaters. We might have some Jersey talk. It's gonna be a good time.
There's gonna be tons of Jersey talk. So what do we have? Sorry, you caught me thinking. So what do we have? We have this weekend is Jess's birthday. We have the next weekend.
We have 2.5 weeks.
And then we're gonna be in Montana, right? Right?
Yep.
We're gonna be there in 3 weeks, right?
In Montana, 2.5.
Dude, I'm excited. I hope everybody else is excited. This is a real big deal for us. So we want to make it a big deal for you and all of our supporters and all of everybody who's kind of believed in this crazy ass dream. We want to say thanks, and we want to say we love you, and you're gonna be able to drink our booze soon, and we'll have a good time with that shit.
And on that note, we're fucking out of here.
We got to get out of here.
Yep. So, cheers, motherfucker, and stay weird, beardos.
I'm the boat again. I'd love to see you guys. Please like, share, subscribe, and share with your friends. Whatever. Let's do it. Cheers. Love you.
There you go dancing dirty. Hips moving all back and forth. Making them sexy eyes. Got 'em big hand for more. Here you come walking.
Out on the streets.
I know, dude.
But these kids are fucking dumb. These kids are so dumb. So fucking dumb.
Let me make a cut right there, dude, because I'm gonna piss, and that was so fucking good. These kids are fucking dumb.
Sometimes you just gotta let your soul glow.
Now you're singing. I love it.